Well, good evening, racing fans. Welcome to racing action from Grand River Raceway in Elora, Center Wellington, nonetheless. We have a great card of racing lined up for you this evening. First dash going to post at 6:30. That's approximately 20 minutes. Just a beautiful day. Blue skies overhead, a little bit of white fluffies, but just nice moderate temperature. Track is fast. Announcer is slow. Giddy up, go. Let's get a look at the changes. Race number one, there are no changes. No changes, race one. Race number two, scratched is number four, Ancient Wall. 7, Lockdown Romeo. Blinkers to Pelling Pacifier. Blinkers to Pelling Pacifier. And also adding side rolls. Races 3 and 4, no changes. No changes, races 3 or 4. In race number 5, Belvedere Franklin changing blinkers to open bridle. That is, blinkers to open bridle. Race 6, no changes. No changes, race 6. Race number 7, number 4, Devil's Kiss, driver to be announced in 5, West River Ivory is scratch race 7, scratch 5. West River Ivory. Race 8, no changes. No changes, race 8. Race 9, scratched is 3, showed Holiday. Race 9, scratch 3, showed Holiday. And the 10th race, 5, worth repeating, blind bridle to blinkers. Once again, reviewing races 1 and 2. Fans note, hot off the presses. Race 7, number 4, Devil's Kiss. The driver is going to be Jay Harris. Race 7 for Devil's Kiss. Jay Harris. Fans, it is currently 17 minutes. Well, correction. 16 minutes to post time, and we better hurry up. Time to welcome in our co-host and handicapping expert live from Margaritaville. And how are things in the Big Palace there? You're looking still for your lost shaker of salt?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. No, things are going great here, Gary. Things are going fantastic at the Palace as always. Today, I've been kind of glued to the TV watching the Delaware County Fair and the Jugette Day card there. The Jugette's coming up, race number 22 on their card. If you're watching that or you want to see it, race 21's up next there. That's going to be race 22. So a great day of harness racing action, but it's kind of neat that it's going to lead into now our wonderful Wednesday card here at the River. We take center stage for harness racing in Ontario and beyond. We've got a real nice card of 10 races. First 9 on the trot. We snuck in one pacing event in the finale. Those trotting events can be a little bit tricky at times, right? And we know that, especially when the youngsters at the racetrack might see some prices. We got Prospect Series events in races 3 and 6. And hopefully we'll see some big payouts in those multi-leg wagers, those high fives. Conley, Ecclestone stole the show on Monday night with that early pick 5 that he hit for just $3. And it was a nice big return of over $300 for a 20-cent wager for Conley. So congrats again to him, and hopefully you cashed that as well. But tonight we're going to start off where we always do, looking at the wagering sequences. That's with that early pick 5, guaranteed pool of $5,000, low takeout 15%. We'll come back about 8 minutes to post and let you know what we like in that sequence. About 8 minutes opposed to the first of 10 dashes on a wonderful Wednesday night here at the river. And this time we always like to take a look at one of my favorite wagers here, the early pick five guaranteed pool, $5,000 low takeout, 15%. Gary, myself, and Conley always map out our suggested wagers for you. You can feel free to add us or try to use you see fit. But Conley, played it real thin on Monday night and hit a nice one. So it just goes to show you don't have to spend a lot of money to get a nice return at times. And we'll see what we're all spending today. I know Gary's going to spend his usual $9.60. There's my ticket, $6. Maybe Gary went a little bit cheaper tonight. We'll see, because I thought you could kind of play this one a little thin tonight. I mean, the opening dash, there was a few directions I kind of thought you could go in, but at the end of the day, I just couldn't look past Heaven's Count, because Heaven's Count now gets that change of scenery from Mohawk Park to Grand River. Second start, Lasix. Um, and a horse that's kind of raced too good, in my opinion, to not have a win on his card yet. I think he gets it for the Hall of Famer Paul McDonnell this evening here at the River. No surprise, 2-5 on the board right now. Going to single up on that one here. And then race number two, the 2, 3, and 5. Interestingly enough, Ancient Wall was my top pick in there. I was real excited about Ancient Wall. Had been racing from off the pace, doing well from off the pace. He's more of a speed type. Better draw, I figured, right down the road, but he's out. So I'm going to go 3 deep now, the 2, 3, and 5. Mactacular is the one that kind of really intrigues me at a possible price, number 2. But obviously, Hilarious Archie and Batinsky, I think, are the most logical ones in there. Race number 3, just a 2. It's Not My Vault. Watched that race a few times at Hanover. I think she, may have still went on her way to victory if she didn't get kind of fumbly gated to make that break in stride. Raced incredibly well in her starts here at the River. She's 4 for 5 now. She was undefeated before that. I think she bounces back, getting back on the bigger surface here at Grand River. It's Not My Vault. A single for me and a single for many, I think, in race number 3. 3 and 6 in race number 4. It Don't Matter to Me has won 2 in a row. Well, 3 in a row here at the River. I mean, she won each of her last 3 tries here at the River. She made a break last time at Mohawk Park, facing tougher competition. So it may have been that step up in classification. Grassroots types going a little bit quicker causes that miscue. She really overcame adversity, I thought. I mean, I thought she made a break on August 28th, but she didn't get chartered with one when she won at 40 cents to the dollar. But she is still a risky proposition because she can break at any time. She's shown that. Archangel's gliding was incredible last time. Like, raced completely, out of her skin. I thought parked pretty much the whole mile. Had no right to be second in there. I thought she was going to fade right out of it. She raced really well to be second in a race where Devil's Kiss got to kind of just float past him after doing no work. So I think he's the one that you can kind of go to maybe beat the filly. It Don't Matter to Me. 2 deep in there, 3 and 6. Then the money leg, I'm going to go 5 deep. Now, I don't know. I said I was going to come right back to Royal Beluga no matter where he ended up. The problem is he ends up on the pole position, which is tricky for trotters that make miscues. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8, but I am going to bet it back. I'm going to bet my ticket back, same combinations back with singles to Royal Beluga. But I will be spreading out in there because I think if you get him beat, even though he is 5-2 morning line, I think he's going to be much lower than that come race time, and maybe in the multi-legs as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8 for me in the finale for a $6 ticket, but I'll also single the 1 Royal Beluga in there, and that ticket would just be $1.20 in doing that. But we'll see what Gary Guy has in store for us. See if he's spending his usual $9.60.
Well, I'm not, but I think I screwed up the math because after we had that scratch, I had to make some adjustments. So actually, my math is a little bit off. So listen, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So it's $1.60. So actually, $16 if you want to change that on the fly. $16 because I'm going to pound it down 10 times. I have 2 singles and then 3 pairs. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So a 20 cent is $1.60, and then we're going to hammer it for $16. So I'm all in, Robert. And in race number 1, you have one that you're interested in. I know it's just a flyer. Number 6, Penn and Teller Hanover, maybe has some magic at the first asking. $500,000 yearling purchase, Determination, and Heaven's Count, who I think the race revolves around. In race number 2, I see it Hilarious Archie and Budinsky. I don't have Mactacular, but I like the fact that you went fishing there. But it's Budinsky and Hilarious Archie. In race three, it's not my fault. Just that's all I need to know. The fourth race, it don't matter to me, and Archangel's gliding, pairing up there, and then just putting all my eggs in the Royal Beluga basket. I think Royal Beluga is a whale of a good trotter and can win there in the fifth race. So $16 hammering hard.
I don't mind that at all. So actually, I said a dollar ticket. You're actually playing it for $2, I guess, right? Yeah. So for a dollar ticket, it would have been $8. So you're playing it for $2. 10 times 20 cents. $2 ticket for Gary. So the math you see the screen right now is if you're playing it for a $2 ticket, he's looking to get a bigger denomination down tonight. He's all in a row, Luca. I don't mind that at all. The thing for me is, like I said, that the pole position is a little bit of a concern for me. In the opener, I like the addition of this expensive first timer for Luke Blaine determination. Qualifier, I thought, way better visually than it is on paper. I just know they typically tend to fire their best second or third start. So I'm willing to go to loan there. But I do like Penn Teller Hanover on the ticket. We'll see what Conley's got in store for us. So again, my ticket amount was for 20 cents. Gary's was for $2. Conley's is going to be for a 20-cent ticket as well. He's going 1, 2, and 5 here in the opener. So he's got Enswell Station, Pillow Thief, and Heaven's Count. Then the 3 and 5, Hilarious, RG Batinsky in race number 2. Just the 2, It's Not My Vault in race 3. So we're all kind of in agreement there. Race 4, the 1, 3, and 6. He adds in the 1 Hit the Bank, who proved that she doesn't really look at a place in non-winners of 2 last time out. I thought it was a good effort. Just think maybe um, she might have a tough time with the other 2 in there, the 3 and the 6. And then he's going to single up on the 2 in race 5. So Gary's going to the 1 row Beluga. Conley's going to go to the 2 PC Peterbilt. I'm going to go to 5 of them in there, but like I said, I'll also play it back to Royal Beluga a little bit for a stronger denomination ticket. $3.60 for Conley's ticket. Again, that's for a 20-cent bet, but you've got a few minutes to map out your winning wagers for this early pick 5. Again, the guarantee is $5,000. The low take goes 15%. And we'll come back after the post break, take a closer look at the opening dash.
Field on post parade for race one. Enswell Station, Colin Kelly for Robert Young and Glengate Farms and Christopher Bullock. Number 2 is Pillow Thief, J.B. Renault for Julie Walker and Elizabeth Sheeland. 3 is Danish Brew, Sammy Fillion for Blair Burgess and David Anderson and Sterling Fisher. A correction. Sterling Fisher is the place. For Southwind France, Austin Sorry for Dominic Gladue.
Is the 5 there, Gary?
5 is Heaven's Count, Paul McDonnell for Dominic and Eugenie Chiravelli and Gary Volpe and Scott McEnany. 6 is Penn and Teller Hanover Scott Young for Luke Blay and Determination. Number 7, Chombo Gem, Tom Smith for Jane Walker and John Ryer. And 4, Southwind France, Austin Sorry for Dominic Gladue. Field of 7, race number 1, first of 10 dashes on this Wednesday evening at the river. And let's get right to it. Heaven's Count, the fans are counting on this one, 4-5 to kick off the pick 5. Doesn't have a win yet, though, but 5 top 3 finishes. Your thoughts on some of those recent miles at Mohawk, Robert?
Well, I mean, I think the thing is, you look at it and say no wins on the card yet. 3 runner-ups, 2/3. Most recently, kind of first over a long way as the favorite in a race won by Mr. Banjo. I thought Mr. Banjo actually raced fantastic here before going into that effort. And Heaven's Count before that, back-to-back runner-up finishes to Gone Goodbye, Exciting Mia. I think that really any of the horses that you're looking at that he's been losing to in those recent efforts would be ones you could certainly back in here. You go further down the page there, second to Stony Burke. I mean, like I said, Heaven's Count, I thought, has turned in some really nice efforts, just hasn't got his picture taken yet. And I think the trip here to the river is Hall of Famer Paul McDonnell saying, we got to get his picture taken. And maybe that's going to kind of help his confidence. Second time Lasix, love that angle as well. I thought he raced okay last time. First start Lasix, but now he faces a softer group. Second start Lasix, and I think you should love it here at the river. So 4-5 on the board. No surprise there. Wouldn't be surprised that it even shortens up a little bit more come post time.
Right now, the one that is the third choice on the board is number 6, Penn and Teller Hanover. And well, there's a lot to think about with this one, but certainly you do have some experience of watching determination horses in their first start. And there is Penn and Teller Hanover.
And I think he looks great out there. And I thought he looked fantastic qualifying as well. In the qualifier, again, there's no money in qualifiers, right? We know that. So there's no, urgency to kind of, get a big finish on them. Obviously, you want to go out there and perform well. They want to kind of, incrementally drop time and have a horse kind of go out there and improve each time he steps on the racetrack or she steps on the racetrack and have them feeling good about themselves. And he was kept on a helmet throughout the stretch drive. So really trying to finish, like he's got trot and looking good. And a lot of Luke Blay horses do that. This is one that's certainly has some good bloodlines. You got he's a half brother to Master of Law, over 500,000 made. He's got a couple of siblings that have over 100,000 made. And of course, you mentioned it, Gary, very expensive yearling purchase at $500,000, right? I mean, Determination always likes to buy quality, and they're hoping that this one obviously will pan out to be a real good horse. I mean, making his lifetime debut at 3, looks great on the track, but they sometimes take a start or two before they kind of pop. But would I be surprised if he wins tonight? Absolutely not. I'm just, kind of looking at it saying that he gives him a big experience edge to Heaven's Count. And history kind of tells us that maybe second or third start is when we're going to see his best. But his pre-race appearance is fantastic, and it's going to probably make me use him on a couple of tickets just so I don't go dead if he does win the opener.
One of my reasons for being more willing to jump in is already 3 years old, and into September I thought there might be a little more urgency. But let's look at number 2, Pillow Thief. 15 starts, no wins, and a break last time out, but 4 runner-ups, and certainly Pillow Thief is capable. I don't like 5-2, though.
I don't either. I've been a big fan of this horse. You know that. I think I picked him pretty much every time he stepped on the track. this last stint, anyways. Those last 3 here at the River. So every start this season, I've been on board. Decent third, decent second. Last time out, favorite made a break in stride. Of course, Royal Beluga beat them by a mile in there. He likely would have won anyways. But Pillow Thief coming into this off that break, I can't really get behind him with any kind of confidence. He already wears trotting hobbles. I think he's in with a chance, but I'd be kind of surprised if it's not Heaven's Count or Penn Teller Hanover winning this. So I do think the odds board in that way is a little bit off. I think those two should be the two favorites.
And Enswell Station, only 30 to 1 on the board, well, it's had a couple of starts.
Yeah, 2-year-old filly against older. I just think that, she can just kind of get away somewhere, sit a trip, and try to get a piece of it. I wouldn't use her anywhere higher than the bottom end of the trifecta, but I do think she can get a share.
Should be noted, $90,000 yearling purchase, so supposed to be a good one eventually. Just 2 starts, but a 2-year-old filly on the inside. It's a field of 7, Enswell Station. Pillow Thief in the center, Danish Brew, Southwind Franz, and Heaven's Count to the outside. Penn&Teller Hanover and Charmbeau Jam. Field of 7, race number 1. Field 4, race number 1. He is at the start in the rough. Southwind Franz and Heaven's Count. And then on the outside, Charmbeau Gem, Pillow Thief on the inside, Enswell Station, Danish Brew, Penn&Teller Hanover is back trailing the field. Heaven's Count and Paul McDonnell leads on around the turn. Southwind Franz, Charmbeau Gem at 80 to 1 is third. Pillow Thief, mid-pack fourth, Enswell Station, Danish Brew, and Penn&Teller Hanover was relaxed off the gate and is trailing the field. They race off the turn. Heaven's Count 1 to 5 on the board. Southwind Franz is second. Charmbeau Gem is racing third, but the front two have a bit of separation on the field. Now Pillow Thief is stepping to the outside, and Pillow Thief now is woken up and coming on, and then back racing on the inside. Fifth now is Enswell Station as they work their way on towards the half. Then Danish Brew and Penn&Teller Hanover. 28-3 opening quarter, and they race their way on into the backstretch. 58-3 half, 32nd second pedal. Heaven's Count, Southwind Franz, Pillow Thief, and then Danish Brew, Charmbeau Gem. Penn&Teller Hanover has passed one horse and now passing a couple more and is coming on and is taken over fourth as they hustle on to 3/4. Heaven's Count, Pillow Thief, Southwind Franz, and Penn&Teller Hanover is hoping for some late magic. 3/4, 127-4, but Heaven's Count leads a couple of lengths. Pillow Thief is second. Penn&Teller Hanover is third, and racing fourth is Southwind Franz. Field is about to turn for home. Heaven's Count and Pillow Thief and Penn&Teller Hanover on down the stretch. Round they come. Heaven's Count continuing. Heaven's Count and Pillow Thief and Penn&Teller Hanover. It is going to be Heaven's Count to win. Then Pillow Thief and Penn&Teller Hanover and Southwind Franz. 156-4. Heaven's Count. Well, the tote board told the story, and then Heaven's Count lived up to it, Robert.
Yeah, he certainly did. I mean, it's kind of what I expected in the race, Gary. I mean, he's kind of one that, like I said, he deserves to have a win on his card at this point. He's raced too well to not have gotten his picture taken, and the mission to coming here to the River was to go break his maiden and kind of get him some confidence, I think. I mean, if I could get into the head of Paul McDonnell, and he did that. I mean, he's just proved to be too good for the group. It went to the lead. I mean, it's a solid mile, 56-4. Then where he goes from here now, maybe he heads back to the big track, or maybe he tries to stay here and kind of even further build that confidence. But Penn&Teller Hanover did exactly kind of what I thought he would do: get taken back off the gate and make a run at some point in the mile. I thought that he would still be second, just the way it was kind of playing out there. Just misses on getting up for second to Pillow Thief, and I think next time we'll likely see that one get hit a little more aggressive if he comes back here to the River, or if he goes to Mohawk Park, and he's obviously near the top of the watch list. But again, kind of what I would expect from one making his lifetime debut for these connections.
Yeah, and the only reason why I threw him on the pick 5 just for coverage, because if you watch him ability-wise, He probably has enough there to win. But he was driven with no urgency, just getting some education, taken off the gate, and no urging. And but you could see, yeah, he just moves well.
Yeah, he does. He moves very well. And he's like I said in that qualifier, you could see that he had all kinds of trot pretty much at every point, especially in the stretch when he was climbing over horses. And I think next time out, we'll see him handled more aggressively. And again, he's one to keep an eye on him. He's a $500,000 yearling purchase, so he should already be on the radar. But Pillow Thief, I thought it's a good rebound effort for him. I was obviously worried about the break last time, and he'd been racing really well before that. He gets in against a palatable group here, other than Heaven's Count, and he ends up splitting those two in the exacta and does so as a second choice in the betting. I thought that would kind of belong to Penteller Hanover, but the betting public was kind of all over Pillow Thief as a second choice.
Yeah, I'm kind of guessing that they were going off of the those magicians Penn and Teller Hanover. We'll see. I wouldn't mind knowing which way they intended the name, but you can ask Megan. She's got an idea, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think you're right. It's got to be Penn Teller Hanover. It's got to be the Penn and Teller, the magicians, right?
Well, hey, you're supposed to help me with this stuff. That's your department. Even though Megan doesn't think you should, but I think you should. Back in front of his number 5 Heaven's Count 3-year-old by the bank, Bay Gelding. Albeit Dominic and Eugenie Chiravelli, and Gara Volpe and Scott McInerney, Paul McDonnell, the trainer and the winning driver. Heaven's Count victorious 156-4. First race payouts 5. Heaven's Count 240, 210, 210. Two Pillow Thief $3 to 76. Penn and Teller Hanover 360. $2 exactor 680. Dollar try 17.95. Dollar super 37.80. First race, or a finish from the top, 7264135. That's 7264135 on the bottom.
Big favorite Heaven's Count gets the job done in the opening dash, in the first leg of the pick five as well. So sometimes you want to play that early pick four just because I've seen it in the past where heavy favorite wins the first. You might even get some bigger payouts in the pick fours if everyone's kind of zeroing in on one in the opener. But there's my early pick four ticket. Again, the pool's guaranteed $2,500, low takeout 15%. 2, 3, and 5 here. Look at that Mactacular one that I kind of like as a price. It's getting back down to 9 to 5. Yeah, I love the fact that this one is now going to be second start back in the bar to Julie Walker and inside draw. But I don't like the price for now, 9 to 5. 2, 3, 5 for me here. Just the 2, it's not my vault in race number 3. Think she rebounds her way to victory, getting back here at the river. 3 and 6 in race 4, it don't matter to me. And Archangel's gliding. I think that obviously if it don't matter to me stays on her gate, she's going to be real tough to beat. But if she does make a mistake or maybe if she gets into some trouble, then Archangel's gliding is the one you want to be with. I think that's one that raced really well last time. Number 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8 in the money leg. Race number 5. Like I said, though, I will be playing some tickets, just singles to Royal Beluga as well. That's the one. So $6 for a 20-cent wager, spreading out in there. Just $1.20 if you single the one Royal Beluga. We're going to look at Conley's ticket, though. Conley's ticket, we'll see what he's got. I know he's got It's Not My Vault singled as well. You can see he's playing it real thin. I mean, he had success doing that on Monday night, and why not kind of play it thin again? You limit your losses that way, and obviously you can play it for more than 20 cents if you like. And there's his ticket, 3 and 5 here in the opening leg, so I'm on board with that. Hilarious Archie and Patinsky. Race 3, just the 2, It's Not My Vault. That's my single as well. Race 4, the 1, 3, and 6. So he's adding the one hit the bank to the ticket. And again, I thought she did race well last time when moving up in class, so she might be able to take another step forward tonight. Race 5, just the 2, and that is PC Peterbilt, one who has been racing well at Georgian Downs. He's won 2 in a row there, but coming into this with a vet scratch lame. That was my main concern with him. Just $1.20 though for Conley's early pick 4 ticket starting right here in race number 2. You've got a Minnesota map out your winning tickets for this early pick 4 wager. Again, the pool's guaranteed at $2,500. The takeout's always low, 15%. We'll come back in a moment or two to take a closer look at race number 2.
Field for the second. On parade, one HP Musical Alarm brought me down for Daryl Labor, Leanne Davidson, and Sean Curran. Number 2 is Mactacular Semi-Filia for Julie Walker and Glengate Farms. 3 is Hilarious Archie, Jason Ryan for Andrea Ann Fontaine and Jeffrey O'Born. 5 is Badinsky, Todd Ratchford for Mary Ratchford and Cynthia Graham. Number 6, Ultra Lady Esteg, Henderson drives and trains and owns. And number 7 is Lockdown Romeo, Bruce Richardson for John Holding and Morley Bosworth. 4 is Scratch. Number 6, Ultra Lady S, adding blinkers to Pelling Pacifier and adding side rolls. So let's get a look at this field. And right away, we're going to start with number 2, Mactacular Semi-Filia, Julie Walker. Strong connections in one that has 3 wins on the year. Gets a second start now for Julie.
Yeah, second start. Well, back in the barn, right, of Julie Walker. And the thing for me is that I think when we see now Sam Fillion's going to be aboard this time around, I think we're going to like to see this one take a big step forward because of the fact that had missed time last time, started under the belt. JBR was aboard for that one. Now they put Sam down. Good draw to work from, and that was non-winners of 3. So I know, I watched that replay back a few times. I said, "Am I crazy for putting this horse on top?" She kind of just got away 6th off the gate, never really made her presence felt at all. But that's against much tougher. I mean, Vera Cruz would have his way with these, I think, and All-Star Goldie and JG's pal. So I was really excited about her in this spot. I did end up going 3 deep because. Again, for me, the problem is that I just wish I saw a little more on the end of the mile last time. But I don't think she's anywhere close to 2-1 in the multi-leg wagers, at least not the pick 5. So I think she's a good result either way, even at that low price right now. But I thought she was worth a poke on top here, Gary. And I think that if you have her previous lines, south of the border, or even prior to that up here, she can certainly go with these. And I just wish the win price a little more.
Yeah, she's got some massive lines and one that can flash some gate speed. You see it in spots. We'll see what the plan here is, but let's look at some of the other ones because this is an interesting dash. Number 3, Hilarious Archie. Well, 5 out of 10 in the top 3. And, the last race, maybe you can just laugh that one off and get to stroke it off the page. And made a break in stride here, 2 back, but 3 races ago, winner, Gagnon.
Yeah, it was a good winner, too, right? And that was the one where I kind of looked at it and said, well, he's going to be at a pace disadvantage. Jason Ryan said not so fast, put him right on the blower, and he was gonzo on the lead. 27-4 to start it off, got a second quarter breather. Race was over for Hilarious Archie. Then he disappointed as the favorite in the Prospect Series, making that early break in stride. Batinsky, was the benefactor on that occasion. And then grassroots starters last time. Royal Hurrah, Jack and Abs Are No Mercy would all look pretty good in this spot. So I think he has every right to rebound here, getting back to the river, getting back to that class he was a winner in 3 starts ago. I thought he'd get over bet. Right now, he's 2-1, and that's a little higher than I expected. The horse getting over bet's the one I actually really like, which is Mactacular. But again, I don't think that she's that price in the multi-leg wagers. But in any event, Hilarious Archie in with a shot.
I have Badinsky on top here, and look, comes in off of a win. But the one thing here, the races here have been really good for Badinsky. We've seen this one here. Well, actually, I had one back in June that wasn't great, but that was post-8. But the last 3 were all top 3 finishes and solid.
Yeah, the funny thing was is that I thought Badinsky actually raced pretty good in that race when he finished 7th back in June. I was willing to back him. His next start, the grassroots at Dresden off it. He ended up being 3rd, beating a pretty wide margin. But you see, he's pretty consistent, right? He's got 10 on the board, finishes in 18 tries. He's a horse that I think always goes out there and kind of works hard and will give you kind of an honest effort. And, in talking to horsemen, they always say that's really what they look for in a racehorse, right? They want horses to just try hard. And Batinsky looks like one that always goes out there and tries hard for the Ratchfords. So I thought that this was a race where we should see the support come for Hilarious Archie and Batinsky. Right now, it's also came for Spectacular, but they're all hovering around that 2-1 price. There you go. Now we just click down to Hilarious Archie 6-5, the other two at 5-2. So we're seeing more value now on Spectacular.
Number 6, Ultra Lady S, took a bunch of money early, now has risen up the tote board to 8-1. What do you make of the equipment changes and Ultra Lady S?
Yeah, I think she's in with a chance here. The thing that's interesting for me about her is last time, I thought she kind of had, or it looks like she's on the outside and has every chance to go get them. She kind of didn't. She ended up kind of covered up in the outer flow there in a race where there was kind of a wall of horses late. Only got beat 2 lengths in there. I think she might, try to go forward off the switch. She could be really effective like that. She's shown it in the past. But at the end of the day, she's still 2 for 25 this season, right? And she's got those 9 on the board finishes. I couldn't get there on the win end, but I think she can play a big role here. I just think that if she does get forwardly placed, she might not be able to hold them off late, or she might not be able to get to them if she kind of takes back off the gate. So in with a chance, but smaller share for me.
Well, it is a field of 6 now for race number 2 with the scratch of 4 Ancient Wall, and they are moving into the backstretch, gathering speed approaching the start. And the field for the second dash. Is at the start of the rough, and Budinsky and Ultra Lady S will flash speed with Hilarious Archie. Those three stride out together, but Hilarious Archie with inside advantage wants the front. Then Budinsky is going to move over to the pylons and be on the butt of Hilarious Archie. Ultra Lady S is third. HP Musical Alarm. Spectacular is racing second from last, and Lockdown Romeo trails the field. Hilarious Archie 7-5 on the board's got the lead. Budinsky is 4-1, racing second. Ultra Lady S is third. Then it is HP Musical Alarm, Spectacular, and back to Lockdown Romeo. Thou art trailing the field. They race their way on up towards the half off a 28-1 opening quarter. Hilarious Archie and Jason Ryan has the lead. Budinsky is in the pocket. Ultra Lady S is racing on the outside, and HBM Musical Alarm elected to stay on the inside, and now Spectacular is moving up on the outside, still second last, and Lockdown Romeo is trailing the field. Hilarious Archie, 59, picked up a 30-4 second panel breather, and it is Hilarious Archie. Budinsky on the inside, Ultra Lady S on the outside, and racing fourth Spectacular with about 4.5 off the lead, but getting closer with every stride. Then HB Musical Alarm and Lockdown Romeo, but Hilarious Archie looks sharp on the lead and leads on by 3/4. Hilarious Archie, then Ultra Lady S. Budinsky on the inside now is a reclaimed second and looking to close up the gap. 3/4, 127-3, a 28-3 third panel. Hilarious Archie trying to leave Budinsky in that one's wake as they turn for home. Hilarious Archie on down the stretch. Where they come. Hilarious Archie and Budinsky. Hilarious Archie digging in. Budinsky trying to close, but Hilarious Archie gets the first laugh and the last laugh, and 156-4 Budinsky. Then Ultra Lady S and Spectacular 156-4. Hilarious Archie. That was kind of a laughing matter for Hilarious Archie.
It was much the same as the last time he raced in this class, right? I mean, he goes to the lead and kind of gets that second quarter breather, and it's race over from there. I mean, he's proven to kind of be ultra competitive at this level, and was the boss in this class last time he was in it, and he's the boss once again. Now, I thought he'd be the favorite. I thought he might even be odds on. He ends up going off second choice to Spectacular, who, again, I obviously backed away off that one at that price. I can't get there as a 6-5 favorite on Spectacular. But Hilarious Archie gets the job done. A deserving victory as well. And Budinsky, like I said, horse that tries really hard, right? 2-hole trip, but fought right till the end. I mean, he doesn't let Hilarious Archie kind of get away with it with an easy victory in the end of it. I mean, it was pretty easy throughout, but Budinsky gamely chases that one to the wire. And like I said, he's one that will always kind of pin his ears and give you his all. Just his all wasn't enough tonight.
Well, we thought, at least I thought, the 3 and 5 might be the two best in there, and Spectacular, we'll watch that one. But Ultra Lady S, at least with the equipment changes, is one to now consider, because Ultra Lady S actually did a lot of work in that one.
Yeah, she's been racing well right at this level, around this level. She's been picking up shares, picking up minor rewards, hitting the board here and there. But the thing is obviously she's kind of always just on the fringe. She was there again tonight, right? She ends up racing well to be third, and I think more of an inside draw. And seeing her kind of go to that front end style that she showed when she blew up the tote board at 17-1 back in July, that might help her chances. But it's just tough to do it from post six, especially with that much speed to her inside.
Well, Hilarious Archie gets the first laugh and the last laugh. It's a 3-5-6-2 coming back in front of us. 3-year-old Archangel Bay gelding up at Jeffrey Oborn. Anne Fontaine, the trainer. Jason Ryan, the winning driver. It's the third win for Hilarious Archie this year in Lifetime. 156-4.
It's good, isn't it?
The second race payout, 3 Hilarious Archie, $4.90, $3 $2.50. 5 Badinsky, $4.20, $2.96. Ultra Lady S, $3.90. $2 double of 5 and 3, $7.80. $2 exactor, $13.80. Dollar try, $20.85. Dollar super, $44.30. second race. Order of finish from the top. 641, scratch 235. That's 641, scratch 235 on the bottom. Field for the third on parade. One, Banks a Million, Jay Harris for Robert Kyle Fellows and Yolanda Fellows and Irene Carey. Number 2, It's Not My Vault, Colin Keller for Kim Baxter and Coyote Wind Farms. Number 3 is Timel Emerald, Mark Etzel for Timel Farms. 4 is Edwina, Jason Ryan for Paul Reed and Mary Christopher and Richard Beinauer and Patrick Dillon. 5 is Silver Manalishi, Bruce Richardson for Randy Dion and Silver Stables. Number 6, Don't Change My Name. Tyler Jones for John Holding and Morley Bosworth. Field of 6 for race number 3. I see they stayed up all night trying to figure out what to name their 6-horse there, Rob. How about number 2, It's Not My Vault? We know what to name this one. A winner. That's what we can name him. Often wins, but not last time out, though.
No, she made a break last time. She was falling around in third, and I mean, it looked like she might tighten up and go and get them, but then she kind of got fumbly gated, and she made a break in stride, and kind of was getting rough before that as well. Now Hanover's got those tighter turns, a half-mile surface, and we have here at the river, and she's already proven that she loves it here. She's 3 for 3 over this surface, and she's 4 for 4 over 5/8 of a mile surfaces. Just that one break over the half at Hanover. Hard not to go back to her, and I figured she'd be an odds-on choice here, and one that many are going to single in the pick 5 and the pick 4 wagers, and I couldn't look past her, Gary. I loved her from the minute I saw her qualifiers. She did win that qualifier June 26th. I know it still shows she finished second, but she beat Bank on Lucas. I'd bet anything on it. Anyway, she looks pretty good on the track right now, and happy to have her single.
And it's funny when you look at her, she actually looks like one that would be fine on a half because she's not an overly large filly at all. But she is large in the win column, 4 out of 5 on the year. How about one, Banks a Million? Could we put a million with in the vault for the exactor?
No, it's 2-year-old. I mean, I'll put Banks a Million in the exacta, but I wouldn't bet a million on it because it's Prospect Series 2-year-old filly trotters. Anything can happen, and you look up and down here, you're going to see X's on most of the dance cards, as you like to say, except for the 2 horses that either only had 1 start or has not raced yet. So Banks a Million for me is just, we see horses that typically respond well to getting down to the Prospect Series after racing in the grassroots. I mean, that the margin between those 2 levels can be pretty vast, and I think that Banks a Million is going to really enjoy getting down to the softer competition. But haven't seen a lot of early foot from this one. Maybe the easier foes will help her kind of get more forwardly placed, but she does have that break last time out in Sarnia. Since then, though, has added trotting hopples, which is another thing that I really like, and qualified well with them. So I think that, main player underneath for me, but I mean, I'm not going to go and hammer a 2-1 because 2-1 won't pay that much anyways.
You know what kind of scares me in here is 3, Timel Emerald. And if you look at that last race, you look at 205 and 2 and say, wow, yeah, but when you're sitting in the pocket and they're not going anywhere up front, that's why you wind up with a 32 and 3 second panel. But, I mean, Mark's going to just sit there and then the second half put in a solid second half.
Yeah, we know 2-year-olds can kind of make pretty big strides forward from one start to the next. Now, was losing ground to Val Fervana on that occasion, but Val Fervana is my best bet of the card today here. I thought Val Fervana raced fantastic in that effort. So no shame in losing to that one. And you're right. I mean, we might see her kind of take a step forward, and not that she really had any chance anyways, sitting in the pocket when the leader gets those kind of soft fractions in the middle half. So 6-1, you can convince me she's the value on the board right now for a win ticket. I mean, and again, you can't argue with the connections. We know Mark does fantastic with these young trotters and any trotters for that matter. and 6-1 is the right kind of price.
Silver Manalishi is the one that I ultimately think is going to be the second choice on the tote board because comes in off of a win at Hanover. Mile at 206. Again, same thing. Half in that race in 205 and 3, and she's sitting in the pocket.
Yeah, it was, they were pretty slow to the half in those races and ends up getting up by a neck before that raced here and was first over before selling for third to Talbot ABC. I think that, 5-2, I mean, I put her fourth kind of thinking maybe we could get some value in between. I agree. I think they're going to be the two favorites. It's not my vault and Silver Manalishi. I'd rather try to split them with either Banks a Million or Timel Emerald.
It is a field of 6. Race number 3, taking up their positions are Banks a Million, and It's Not My Vault in the center. Timel Emerald and Edwina to the outside, Silver Manalishi, and Don't Change My Name. It's a field of 6 for the third. Field for the third. 2-year-old trotting fillies, Prospect Series at the start. Silver Manalishi is going to leave out with Banks a Million. Then Timel Emerald, and It's Not My Vault is now on the inside taking third. Timel Emerald is fourth, and then Edwina and Don't Change My Name. Silver Manalishi came on to take the lead. Banks a Million is second. It's Not My Vault is third right now for Colin Kelly, and about 4.5 lengths off the lead and 3 to 5 of the board. Then Timel Emerald and Edwina and Don't Change My Name, Silver Manalishi, and Banks a Million. The top two. Quarter was just 30 seconds, and third on the inside, It's Not My Vault. Timel Emerald is racing positioned fourth as they race their way on up towards us, and then Edwina and Don't Change My Name. And the field works their way on up towards the half off that 32nd opening quarter. Silver Manalishi and Bruce Richardson just cruising along on the lead. Racing second, Banks a Million. Timel Emerald and Colin Kelly looked over his right shoulder and saw Don't Change My Name coming, so quickly popped out. And It's Not My Vault now quickly wants to come on the outside and challenge Silver Manalishi. Don't Change My Name has changed position and now has taken third. Banks a Million is fourth. It's Not My Vault has come on to grab the lead from Silver Manalishi. Don't Change My Name is third. Banks a Million's racing fourth. Then Timel Emerald and Edwina. It's Not My Vault leads on by 3/4 of a half of 102 and 3. Don't Change My Name went off stride. Silver Manalishi is staying in the pocket on the back of It's Not My Vault. Banks a Million on the outside. It's Not My Vault now in Colin Kelly, and there's another look over his right shoulder to see if anyone's coming, and can see Banks a Million and Jay Harris about a length and 3/4 back. It's Not My Vault as the field turns for home. It's Not My Vault and Banks a Million. Silver Manalishi as they come on to the finish. It's Not My Vault. It's Not My Vault. Banks a Million. Silver Manalishi and Timel Emerald 202 flat. It's Not My Vault. We could have put $1 million on the 2-1 exact. We'd got $2.10, but we'd be cashing, Rob.
But at the end of the day, I mean, not putting $1 million, maybe betting a $20 straight's not a bad idea because I think without that miscue last time, It's Not My Vault's 1-9. 100% against this group. I mean, she's just kind of proven her dominance at this level throughout. I think you only get 3 to 5 because of that break last time out. And again, I think there was reason for it. I think that she kind of didn't like the service at Hanover as much and was kind of putting in steps, at several points in that mile. This time around, very smooth out there. Love the way Colin Kelly drives her. I mean, he knows her so well that he kind of waits, moves to the outside, does that very methodically, but then he wanted to kind of just pounce on the leader. And it's interesting, she's always kind of been really good kind of chasing them into the stretch or on the final turn. And this time around, she gets to the lead before then and just looked fantastic doing it. I mean, just a couple of taps, reminders there late, but much the best. And I think this exact is paying $9. $9, yeah, that's not a bad price at all. For this exacta here. And like I said, I think 3 to 5, to be honest with you, is an overlay on her only because we've seen her do such fantastic things here at the River.
Well, it just, I saw Colin Kelly looking over his shoulder. He wanted to make sure that he didn't get stuck there when he was third, because that's the one mistake you can make. And then just, you got to make sure the horse doesn't fall asleep on the lead and let somebody get by on the outside that you weren't paying attention to.
Yeah, exactly. No, she ended up being much the best, and it played out pretty logical too, right? Like, I mean, Maximilian, who first time trotting hopples, gets down to a softer level, ends up, kind of chasing late and getting up for second in a battle with Silver Manalishi, ends up kind of being clear cut second. Silver Manalishi certainly worked hard throughout the mile. She ends up fading to third, and Tamil Emerald, who just her second lifetime start, a decent fourth, but kind of very formful. Like I said, but I just think that it's not my vault. I mean, probably singled by many. 3 to 5 again. Which I never want to take a short price on a 2-year-old filly trotter. She would have been 1 to 9 without that break last time, Gary.
Well, and that's why I played my pick five the way I did, and so far that $2 pick five is still rolling along through three legs. It's been the favorites living up to the billing so far, and It's Not My Vault is back in front of us. A 2-year-old, The Bank Bay filly, owned by Coyote Wind Farms, and Kim Baxter owning and training. Colin Kelly is the winning driver. 5 wins and 6 starts for It's Not My Fault. The third race payouts. 2 It's Not My Vault, 350, 230, 220. 1 Banks a Million, 330, 285. Silver Manalishi, 220. $2 exactor, 910. Dollar try, 730. Dollar super, 1730. Third race, or her finish from the top, is at 214536. That's 214536 on the bottom. Would Jenna McDonnell please call extension 228? Jenna McDonnell, please call 228. Would Katie Giddy please call extension 228? Katie Giddy, please call extension 228. Would Paula McDonnell or Katie Giddy please call extension 228? Would Jenna McDonnell please call extension 228? Jenna McDonnell, please call extension 228. Field for the fourth race on parade. One is Hit the Bank, Travis Henry for Gerard Demers. To Living at Large, Lauren House for Chantel Ruiz and Lauren House. 3 is It Don't Matter to Me, Tyler Jones for Dustin Jones and Golden Bear Racing. 4 is Champagne Bettina, Daryl Thiessen for Cameron McQueen and John McQueen. 5, Lincoln's Landing, Steve Houdon for Laura Toscani and Gino Toscani. 6 is Archangels Gliding, Austin Sorry for Robert Manders and Scott and Keith Manders. 7 is T-Lake, Scott Young for Rick Ziron and James Walker and Dean Lockhart and Jeffrey Ruck. And number 8 is talk show host Jason Ryan for Mary Landberg. Field of 8, race number 4. Let's get a look at this field. And, well, we're going to start with Archangels Gliding. And you went to Archangels Gliding at 10-1 instead of It Don't Matter to Me at 1-2. Why not?
Just look for value. And Gary, listen, we've seen It Don't Matter to Me. She's a real solid filly, but she's not so solid on her feet, right? I mean, she does make some miscues, and if she jumps it off here at a short price, I'd rather be on the right side of value. And Archangel's Gliding, I thought raced fantastic last time. You remember, looked like it was going to be a give and go, then got stuck in the first over position and stuck around to be second. Now, the mile time's just 59 and 3. And he was a fifth of a second slower than that in finishing second. But to me, it was just kind of the dynamic of the race that I was really impressed by. He's been second in each of his last 3. Was a winner in Sarnia August the 3rd, and I think he's a big-time player in here, especially if the favorite makes a mistake. But if she doesn't, she'll be tough to beat. But 4-1 on this one, I think, puts you on the right side of value.
Well, if she doesn't win in the 3 wins and we miss out on a 4-5 horse, it don't matter to me. Look, this is one that definitely, we've seen some beautiful things, and there's a lot of logic that this one can get the job done. But you see those couple of X's on the dance card, so that's a wee bit concerning.
Yeah, and it's more than that, too. I mean, I remember her first 2 lifetime starts. I mean, they were at Georgian Downs, and both were breaks in the same spot. One race, she won and got disqualified. The other race, she was going to win first over before making that miscue. Then she kind of got her act together at Mohawk Park. When she came here, initially I thought, she was one that would win if she stayed flat. She did. But then I still think she made a break in stride on August 28th. I mean, she went to a full gallop for a stride. I mean, she reset so quick, but I thought she was going to finish out of it on the final turn. She somehow gets back onto a smooth gate and lunges at them late for the victory on that occasion at odds-on status. And then she wins again, but handled very gingerly in the early stages, 2 back as well. Coming into this off a break in stride, I think it'll be no different tonight. I think Tyler Jones is likely going to kind of just have top priority, have her stay trotting. But if she does, she's tough to beat, and that's why she's 4-5. All kinds of talent with this one. It just comes down to does she trot or not.
Well, I called it as a break, so as far as I'm concerned, it was. But I don't make the rules, and that's probably a good thing. One Hit the Bank is one that made a winning effort here September the 4th, and, didn't hit the bank, 3-1, a little over 3-1, but from post 8, so Hit the Bank's worthy of at least some thoughts.
Yeah, I think so, because this is the thing. We noted this one after her latest because she won on September the 4th from post 8. Now the thing is that it was kind of an easier trip to the lead than we expected for her. She then kind of got things her own way. Still difficult to get out there from that starting spot. She made every call a winning one. and then she stepped up to non-winners of 2, and the question is, will she be able to go with them or not? She got away 7th off the gate. Either she closed nicely to be 3rd. Now she's more acclimated to this level of competition, and I think she can get a big piece of it. Now, I was really just settled on the 3 and 6 here in my multis, because I think if It Don't Matter to Me doesn't win, then Angels Gliding is the most logical choice, just with how well he's been racing and how well he raced last time. But Hit the Bank, I think, is a player, especially in the exotics.
Look, we cashed on Lincoln's Landing as a slight favorite, or at least, I mean, a little over even money last time out. But this is a different kettle of fish for Lincoln's Landing. But it was a solid effort.
It was, and that's the thing, right? You look at 56 and 4, and you say, well, hang on a second, that's a big mile, 56 and 4. How does that not translate to good things here? I think class kind of rules all for me, and this is a big step up. I mean, he's moving back up to a spot where he's been, and he's been a fringe player. Maybe the boost of confidence makes him, finish in the top end of it now. I think he's more so a play in the exotics, and 5-1, I think, is about the right price. You got to get that or more, I think, if you're going to bet him to win.
By the way, a thought on T Lake. I threw that one in for 3rd.
You know what? I think this one looks really good on the track, and I think maybe I underestimated her in my selections. I'd say, she'd be my 5th choice in here, in with a chance with the right kind of trip. I think 11-1. I mean, you could bet worse horse at 11-1 than T Lake.
It's a field of 8 for race number 4, and they are taking up their positions. Field for race number 4. Is at the start of the rough. Champagne Bettina leaves out with Lincoln's Landing and Archangel's Gliding. Then Hit the Bank and T-Leg. It Don't Matter to Me is currently racing 6th. Then Living at Large and back to talk show host. But Lincoln's Landing landed the early lead. It's 7-2 on the board. Champagne Bettina. Archangel's Gliding right now is 3rd. Then Hit the Bank and T-Leg. It Don't Matter to Me is racing 6th. And then Living at Large and talk show host in the race off the turn. Lincoln's Landing and Steve Houdon off at 27-4 opening quarter. Right now leads by about 3 over Champagne Bettina as the field races their way on towards the half. And then 3rd is Archangel's Gliding, and Hit the Bank is racing on the outside and still staying along to the inside. T-Lake about 5 off the lead, but Lincoln's Landing has landed the front and leads by 4, 57-3, 29-4 second panel. Archangel's Gliding now on the outside. He's gliding up a little bit closer. Then it is Champagne Bettina. Hit the Bank's racing 4th, and T-Lake is 5th. It Don't Matter to Me is still back there in 6th, about 8 off the lead. And then talk show host and Living at Large. Lincoln's Landing leads by a couple of lengths right now. Archangel's Gliding is racing 2nd. Champagne Bettina Hit the Bank, and now It Don't Matter to Me is out 3 wide and is making a spirited move, but still has a lot of work to do. Lincoln's Landing and Archangel's Gliding Hit the Bank, and It Don't Matter to Me is kicking in and is set up for wide. Then it is T-Lake also in the hunt, and Champagne Bettina, and then talk show host and Living at Large, and down the stretch route they come. Lincoln's Landing, Archangel's Gliding. Here comes It Don't Matter to Me, and It Don't Matter to Me is going to come on by and win. It Don't Matter to Me Hit the Bank, and then Archangel's Gliding and Living at Large. 157-1. It Don't Matter to Me 1-2 on the board. Early part of the race I was worried, but you know what? I guess it didn't matter.
No, I mean, I wouldn't have been I mean, the only thing you're worried about is making a miscue. She's never going to be too far out of it. If she stays flat, she wins. It's as simple as that. That's exactly the way she's raced, Gary, when she got those victories. I mean, last time when she was winning this class, she got away 8th off the gate. She was 13 lengths off the lead at the quarter pole, and then he just basically moved her when he wanted to, and it's race over. Again, the whole time I'm watching the race, I'm kind of cheering for the 6 to kind of get there, because it would be a great result for me. Obviously, I bet that one to win on top of exotics too. But it's just kind of, if It Don't Matter to Me doesn't stay flat, maybe I can get that one down. I know if she stays flat, she's a winner. You could see basically anytime he wanted to, he could take them, and she does so 4 wide in the final turn. and takes it very smooth this time. So again, she can learn. I think it's good for her to race here because she kind of gets an education. She learns on the job, and gets to go against horses that she's just that much better than. I mean, she can kind of do it from anywhere. Nice steer by Tyler Jones again, keeping her nice and relaxed, and wins with ease. I mean, I think that kind of helps her stay in her gate too.
And what's one of our favorite things? We like splitting the favorites. We thought the 3 and 6 would be the favorites. We hit the 1, hit the bank in between.
Yeah, 9 to 1 shot in between, kind of logical too. But yeah, I agree with you. And hit the bank is one that we noted that last time proved that she's going to be okay at this level, right? Sometimes it's the big question, when you move up in class, can you go with them or not? Sometimes they end up not, and then they end up going similarly a condition claim, or will hit the bank. Made that transition up to non-winners or two, and now shows she's going to be able to do good things here, and certainly pick up some pretty big pieces until she likely wins at this level as well. So second at 9 to 1, Archangel's Glide, another big trip. I mean, he kind of always finds himself getting those kind of difficult trips, and then just misses, right? Second, third, hits the board a lot, but couldn't get to the winner's circle.
And living at a large 40 to 1 to help a superfecta pay a bit at least. 3-1-6-2 the top 4. Back in front of us is number 3. It don't matter to me. A 3-year-old royalty for Life Bay filly by Dustin Jones and Golden Bear Racing. Dustin Jones, the trainer. Tyler Jones, the winning driver. 6th win in 13 starts for It Don't Matter to Me. And out for the winner's circle photo, we have the Autumn Splendor Group. And thanks to Gail and her group for joining us here this evening. Thanks to the Autumn Splendor Group out trackside. The 4th race payouts. 3, It Don't Matter to Me, 310, 240, 220. 1, Hit the Bank, 750, 390. 6, Archangel's Gliding, 310. $2 exactor, 1830. Dollar try, 31.45. Dollar super, 272.35. Fourth race. Order of finish from the top down, 24175 368. That's 24175 368. Fifth race on Parade 1, Royal Beluga. Mark Etzel drives and trains for Harbor Racing. To his PC Peterbilt, Colin Kelly for Peter Clements. 3 is Tamil Twister, Anthony Hahn for Don Lindsay and Paul Lindsay. And 4, Chip Happen, Daryl Thiessen for James McCaig and Jan McCaig-Weischer. 5 is Belvedere Franklin, Phil Houdon, drives and trains for Dr. Mike Veneri. Number 6 is George of the Jungle, Brett McDonough for Dominic Ladew and the stable. Number 7, Century Isaiah, Ron Whipples Jr. for Dr. Sheila Atmore. Number 8 is Mass Action, Sammy Filya for Julie Walker and Wade Piccone. And 9 is Fastnet Rock, Jason Ryan drives for Matt Dupuis and Lance Wells and Lyndon Wells. It is a field of 9 trotters for race number 5 and the Super High 5. Let's get a look at this field, and Royal Beluga now has dropped down to 7-5 and will likely be the betting favorite. I do like that you have 5 alive here in this pick 5, but Royal Beluga is certainly the one to beat.
Yeah, and no big payouts obviously up there. I mean, if your ticket, I mean, playing it kind of much thinner to Royal Beluga obviously is a help, Gary. And I did bet some tickets back to just having 6 combinations bet into this race and singling Royal Beluga as well. But pole position is tough for a horse sometimes that's prone to breaks, and raced fantastic last time, kind of turned that corner for Mark Etzel and has always had all kinds of ability. Like I said last time, he'll crush them if he stays flat. And likely that's the case again tonight for him, right? And right now 2-1 in that regards, not a bad price at all. I don't think we see it come post time though, because he's a heavy favorite in the multi-leg wagers. But I think the clear one to beat. It's just that you got to trust a horse that's had a lot of problems making breaks in the past.
Yeah, and look, if that happens here, then you've got coverage. And starting with number 2, PC Peterbilt. Now the thing is, hasn't raced since the 24th, Scratched Vet Lame, but certainly was good before that. Couple of wins back to back.
Yeah, he had back-to-back victories. One was from Post 8 at Georgian Downs, and kind of showed versatility too, right? 2-hole trip the one time, and then Colin Kelly aboard in the most recent victory, got away 5th off the gate, and kind of came at them in the late stages and one going away. So I think that he certainly figures against this group. There's no doubt about that. The big question is, what do you read into that vet scratch lame and coming into it off now missing, more than 3 weeks? How will he fare with that time between starts? So I think he's in with a big chance. He merits respect in here, and I mean, I wouldn't begrudge anyone for saying, you know what, I don't want to take 2-1 on a horse that's chose some miscues. Maybe I'll take 5-1 on PC Peterbilt and just hope he kind of comes back to those efforts, because it should make him competitive in here.
And he's a 4-year-old against a 3-year-old. And another thing we could reference is those 2 miles that you see time at Georgian Downs, especially August 10th. The track was, I'm going to say at that point, probably 2 seconds slower than here, maybe down to about 1.5 seconds or a bit less than that by the 24th. But clearly there was a difference in time from Georgian to here. 4, Chip Happened is one that, you saw Lincoln's Landing race well again this evening for a good chunk of the race and was second to that one last time out. And Chip Happened has been coming close, has a win, but 5 runner-up finishes as well.
Yeah, we thought he was a big overlay last time, right at 10-1, and looked like the right one to maybe haul down that favorite, and almost did. Just got beat a neck. Daryl Thiessen gets along tremendously well with this horse. You can see right there on the program, he's hit the board in 4 of the 5 times that he's been at the reins, and 4th in the other one when having to work from the 7-hole and getting away 5th off the gate. So Chip Happened is one for me that I just thought this race kind of came up a little bit on the tough side this time around, but he's obviously in with a chance, right? So he did make that miscue 2 starts ago. I wouldn't be too concerned about that. Daryl gets along well with him, and I think he should be in the mix throughout.
Now, one thing Timel Twister has proven of late is that has to be used on the top 4. 5 consecutive top 4 finish is including post 8 last time out.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing for Timeout Twister is another one that we kind of wondered, will he be able to go with tougher company? And I think that he showed enough to say, okay, we can kind of give him a whirl in the exotics and maybe even look to see if maybe he can kind of be competitive against this group at 16-1. Fourth last time to get away, eighth off the gate, was racing tremendously well in the maiden ranks before that, and won obviously two of his last three before exiting that class. So I think he can make some noise in here, and the price is certainly right at 16-1.
Number 8, Mass Action's enticing. He's actually really good, and second to Wheels of Blazing last time out. It's post 8, but at 35-1, and he can get off the gate.
Yeah, 35-1's a wild price on Mass Action. I think it's just getting overlooked because there's so many contenders in here, right? Sometimes you get into a field like this and you get all the way to post 8, and you see that odds kind of just swell up because there's so many other horses that are in with big chances. So I don't mind him in here. It'd be a good result for the pick 5 and the pick 4. I think we need a little luck though.
Yeah, you'd really enjoy that. A 30-1 to round out your pick 5. I'd be cheering for you, but right now it is a field of 9. Into the backstretch, gathering speed. The fifth race trotters. Are at the start. And they're off, and from the outside, Century Isaiah, Belvedere Franklin, and Chip Happened. Then it is George of the Jungle. Royal Beluga has gone off stride. Tamil Twister is racing Fem. PC Peterbilt, Mass Action, and then Fastnet Rock. Century Isaiah at 60-1's got the lead. And then it is George of the Jungle, and racing on the inside, Belvedere Franklin is third. Chip Happened is fourth, and Timel Twister is currently fifth. And then it's back to PC Peterbilt, who's racing sixth as they work their way off the turn and come on towards us. Back in seventh, Mass Action. Then second from last is Fastnet Rock, and Royal Beluga way back, 28-second opening quarter. George of the Jungle at 5-1 has the lead. George of the Jungle, Century Isaiah, and Belvedere Franklin as they work their way on into the backstretch. And then Chip Happened is fourth. Timel Twister now moves on the outside and will follow Chip Happened, who took out. Chip Happened is moved up now and taken over third and is coming on aggressively against George of the Jungle and Century Isaiah. George of the Jungle half was a lively 56-4. George of the Jungle, Chip Happened off stride when PC Peterbilt, Century Isaiah. Timel Twister is racing position fourth. And then it is Fastnet Rock, Mass Action, and as the field works their way on towards and by 3/4 of 126-2, Royal Beluga is racing eighth and still with a ton of work to do. George of the Jungle has fought back for now against Chip Happened. George of the Jungle, Chip Happened. Timel Twister on the outside. And then it is Century Isaiah and Mass Action as they come on to the finish. Chip Happened trying to color George of the Jungle, and flying lady is Timel Twister. Timel Twister on the outside. I don't think so, but George of the Jungle and Timel Twister in a photo. Chip Happened is third, 157 flat. I don't think that what you needed to happen got there, but nonetheless, it's close, and we need a photo.
Yeah, definitely close in the line there. I don't think he got there either. Timel Twister would have been a great result for the multis as well, for yours truly, but don't think it happened. You know what, Gary? Listen, I said my guess was Royal Beluga, right? I mean, totally different than having to work in the pole position, being surrounded by horses all to your outside. Horses don't like that. He didn't look comfortable going towards the gate. At 6-5, like I said, I just couldn't go alone with him. It didn't really matter because I went 5 deep and don't have George of the Jungle. But at the end of the day, we see the two favorites in the race, 6-5 and 3-1, both make miscues, and it opens the door for some real big prices, or bigger prices anyways, in the high 5. Should be interesting to see, what this pay will be, because there's some real long ones in there.
Yeah, and obviously I was cheering for Timel Twister, but 6 George of the Jungle is the winner, and we'll see the slow motion. But George of the Jungle dug in nicely and actually raced very well.
Yeah, I thought he raced pretty well, and he's one that we've seen, do good things here when he gets to the lead. I mean, he got beat by a nose last time to Batinsky in a Prospect Series event when he went to the front. It was driven very very aggressively on that occasion by Brett McDonald, and last time out made some breaks at Flamborough Downs. Um, Listen, at the end of the day, we were in the shot was to get some decent ones down there. Even Mass Action, I thought looked pretty good in the late stages there. Just couldn't get to them. But again, you look at the exotics and you say is a 6 to 5 shot you don't like. Sometimes you can kind of mess around with some numbers and cash a ticket like that, right? So like I said, I always kind of shy away from a horse that makes breaks when they have to work from the pole position, especially a young trotter like Royal Beluga.
Yeah, and that Tamil Twister was a little closer than you might have thought when you saw the slow mo. That's why I thought it was 6, but man, it was a little tighter when you see the win photo.
I thought he was going to get there at the head of the stretch. I'll be honest. Look, he had a lot of trot. But the wire comes pretty quick, right? And you're right. George of the Jungle kind of dug in just enough to rebuff that one in the dying strides. But either way, nice effort by both of them. Even Chip Happen first over a long way. He's kind of making his way at this level and will continue to be competitive when racing in this class.
It's a 6-3-4-8. Back in front of us is number 6, George of the Jungle, a 3-year-old muscle mass brown gelding. Owned by the stable, trained by Dominic Ladew. Brett McDonald's the winning driver. Second win for George of the Jungle, 157 flat. Fifth race payout 6, George of the Jungle, 1380. 680, 473. Tamil Twister, 1350, 590. Ford Chip Happen, 330. $2 exactor, 173.10. Dollar try, 215.90. Dollar pick 3 of 3, 52.50. Dollar pick 4, 104.05. Dollar pick 5, 149.05. 20-cent high 5, 1440.98. Fifth race order of finish from the top, 792-361-845. That's 792-361-845 on the bottom.
Yeah, can we just do George of the Jungle getting the job done on race number 5. Caps off. I mean, a decent payout really in the pick 5. I don't have it 5 deep in there. We didn't have George of the Jungle. Almost $30 for a 20-cent ticket. The pick 4, almost $21 for a 20-cent ticket. Congrats if you had those ones with a pretty chalky start. Not a bad payout at all. And that high 5, well, Royal Beluga off the ticket. Second choice off the ticket as well. Over $1,400 for a 20-cent wager. We see those high 5s pay so well here at the river. But there's my late pick 5 ticket starting right here in race number 6. We're at the midway point of the card. Low takeout 15%. Just the 2 Val for Vanna. I thought that she raced really well last time out at Hanover for the victory as the favorite, and a good second. It's Not My Vault at Grand River 2 starts ago, and now getting back here to this surface and not having to face this time. It's Not My Vault. Happy to single her. She's 9-2 right now. Doubt we see that price come post time. The 1, 3, and 9 on race number 7. Mass Money looks like the one to beat, I think, but I'm going to use Vera Cruz and All-Star Goldie. 2, 3, and 5 in race number 8. Kind of an interesting looking dash in there. Kadabra Kaboom is what I'm going to come back to. Love that one in back-to-back starts, second in each of them. Last time about trailing post, I stayed away. We'll jump back on the bandwagon tonight, but 2, 3, and 5 in the pick 5. Just the 2. She trots a lot in race 9. Love the fact that she gets inside draw. Back to the river. Scott Young aboard. Was good third to Valentine Blue Chip last time out at Mohawk Park. And then the all button in race 10. It was either single the 6 Intense Lady or hit the all button. I want to try to go for a bigger payout. We hit the all button, $16.20. We spent a small enough amount in the early legs. We can do that in the finale. $16.20 for a 20-cent ticket, hitting the all button in race number 10. We'll see what Conley's got in store for us in this sequence. Curious to see where he went here. Again, my best bet is the 2 Vowel for Vanna. Just loving what she's done since going to the barn with John Holding. And I think that we're going to see her do good things again tonight. So he's singled up on Val for Vanna as well. So I'm going to give company there. 3-9 in race number 7, Mass Money. And Vera Cruz 1-3-5 in race number 8. She's got Gaelic Piper along with How Max Swanky and Kadabra Kaboom. 1-2-5-7 in the 9th race. So I singled the 2. He's going 4 deep. And when I hit the all button, he's going all in on Panthermonium, who is making that transition to the condition claiming ranks. Coming out of non-winners of 1, though, right? Non-winners of 1 or non-winners of 5,000 life. I thought maybe, it can be competitive, but there are some in there that I think, it looks like a field of fillies where it's pretty competitive. So I wanted to go with the all button there, but he goes to a single. So starts the single, ends with the single for Conley. $4.80 for a 20-cent ticket. But just a Minnesota map out your winning wagers for this late pick 5 sequence. Takeout's always a low 15%. We'll be back in a moment or two to take a closer look at the 6th race of the evening.
Field 4, Race 6 on Parade 1, Howmack Ladder, Colin Kelly for Vic Putty, and Howmack Farms and Rodney Locke. Number 2, Vowel for Vanna, Bruce Richardson for John Holding and Morley Bosworth. 3, Sweet Swirl, Anthony Hahn for Don Lindsay and Paul Lindsay. For his Belvedere Kathy Dag Henriksen for Dr. Mike Veneri. 5 is Miss Kersey, Brett McDonough for Rodney Hughes and Howard Taylor. Number 6, Talbot ABC, Sammy Filia for Robert Kyle Fellows and Yolanda Fellows and Blair Corbeil and Windermere Stable. Field of 6, race number 6. Let's get a look at this field and, field of 6, but there's some different ways that you could go with this race, and you did go for Val for Vanna, one that is coming in off of a win in that Prospect Series at Hanover. And we saw this one here, as you mentioned, second to It's Not My Vault just 2 races ago.
Yeah, and that's really the form reference I like, plus the effort last time. I mean, it was easy. I mean, I know we look at the fractions and go, well, how does she lose in there? But I mean, she still went out there and she won with ease. I mean, she was kind of relaxed the whole way through, converting as the odds-on favorite. No on the board finishes in her first 5 starts of her career. Then she goes to John Holding and has been second or better since then. Getting down to the Prospect Series obviously helps her chances tremendously because she was racing in the grassroots before that. But the other thing, too, is It's Not My Vault rebounds in a big way tonight. We think that one's kind of the boss of the division. And this one was a solid second, I thought, to her on August the 30th. So 5-2 right now. Again, I think she probably ends up as the favorite or close to it. But love her chances from post 2. I think she's probably going to try to go all the way on the engine again.
And Talbot ABC, is leaving from the outside, so won't probably be able to use the plan of attack that she used in the last couple starts, although, field of 6, and you can blast if you want because you got a bit of a straight run heading to the turn. We'll see what the plan is. Certainly Talbot ABC has raced well, but at Hanover, on the lead, half of 105 and 3, and wasn't able to hold off Silver Manalishi.
Yeah, got picked up by Silver Manalishi, and we saw that one race okay tonight, but not in the same realm as the winner. And then the thing is for me is that obviously we've seen her stock kind of rise going to the engine. I think she's got to try to do that anyways tonight, or at least try to get there in the early to middle stages. And I think post 6 might be a little tricky for her, right? Because you've got Val for Vanna, probably firing from the inside. Sweet Swirl's going to want to have a part of it, I think, in the early stages. And even Belvedere Kathy, I think is one that might try to leave out of there. So I'm curious to see what kind of trip she gets. I think she's a player in here. But again, 2-1 on her versus 5-2 on Val for Vanna. Even if you flip those odds, I'm still going to be the other direction, as Val for Vanna is my best bet of the night.
Number 3, Sweet Swirl, is one that might be handled a little carefully in the early going. Was racing really, really well, but that break early last him out. How do you think the plan of attack goes here?
Well, I mean, the thing I'll say that I guess kind of goes in the favor of maybe her being handled aggressively is that last time that Anthony Hahn was aboard, she went to the lead from post 6 over a track that was 3 seconds off, and she went all the way on the engine. So 35 cents to the dollar that time around against probably a softer group in Sarnia. But, had success with Anthony in the bike, and I think he's going to probably want to get her off the switch here, whether it be to the lead or at least try to settle in for a 2-hole trip maybe. And she's the value, I think, right now on the board at 3-1. I mean, she might even creep up come post time there. It is up to 7-2. I think she goes off as a third choice in here. I could be, convinced that maybe the play is to maybe play a 2-3 and box 2-3, and maybe hope that Talbot ABC ends up getting kind of a tougher trip than she can handle to kind of hit the top 2. So Sweet Swirl's intriguing to me, Gary.
Belvedere Kathy at 7-1 is not without a chance in here. In fact, if she stays flat, she's probably got a big chance because she was right there with Talbot ABC in front of Silver Manalishi here August the 30th, and that was just the debut mile.
Yeah, we were impressed with the way that she raced in that debut. And it was after a qualifier for Dag Hendriksen, handled aggressively off the gate. Last time out, made that break in stride. Had no chance after that, but took a lot of support that is 7-5, right? Second choice in the betting in that race at Hanover. 7-1 this time around. Again, I think she's going to want to get forwardly placed too. This is why, Talbot ABC might kind of have an uphill battle. But she's got to stay flat as well, Belvedere Kathy. But getting back on this surface probably helped that.
Howmack Glider's got the inside, and you mentioned young fillies on the inside. We saw Royal Beluga didn't enjoy it, but July of the 12th here, Howmack Glider had the inside and almost wired a field.
Yeah, she did. I mean, getting back here to the river should help her chance as well. She just got beat by It's Not My Fault. Another good form reference there. Had to chase that one several times as well before her last two. So maybe with a chance, but you're right. That's why I shied away. Break last time at Hanover from the pole position. That always concerns me.
Well, Val for Vanna, your choice, 8-5. I do have Talbot ABC at 5-2. We'll see what the plan is. It's a field of 6, race number 6. Good field of trotters. A lot of potential winners in this bunch. We'll see how it turns out. And it is into the backstretch they go. Prospect Series 2-year-old trotting fillies. And the field for race number 6 is at the start, and they're off. And Val for Vanna has gone off stride. Belvedere Kathy is going to blast out. Sweet Swirl picks up second. Then Ms. Kersey is third. Talbot ABC has position D right now as they work on around the turn. Then Hamac Glider, Val for Vanna is back trailing the field, and they work on around the turn. Belvedere Kathy at 10-1 is freewheeling right now and leads by about 5 or 6 lengths over Sweet Swirl. Miss Kersey is third, and Talbot ABC is fourth. But right now, there's Belvedere Kathy just on fire as they race on up towards the half. 27-1 opening quarter, and Dag Henriksen tries to rate Belvedere Kathy, who leads by 6 or 7. Sweet Swirl second, and then racing third is Ms. Kersey. On the inside, fourth is Talbot ABC, and then Hamac Glider. Belvedere Kathy is starting to come back to the field a little bit. Sweet Swirl is moving up, half 57-1, and Sweet Swirl is coming on quickly now. Belvedere Kathy, Sweet Swirl now is a la mode as they race their way on towards 3/4, and Sweet Swirl, Ms. Kersey, Talbot ABC has position C now. Hamac Glider, Belvedere Kathy has dropped back to 5th. Sweet Swirl's got the lead. Ms. Kersey, Talbot ABC is only about 2 3/4 from the front now. 3/4, 128, and it is Sweet Swirl, Ms. Kersey, and Talbot ABC as the field turns for home. Sweet Swirl, Ms. Kersey, Talbot ABC on the inside as the field turns for home, and Sweet Swirl is still moving well on the lead. Sweet Swirl, Talbot ABC up the inside, but Sweet Swirl continues on. Sweet Swirl and Anthony Hahn is your winner. Ms. Kersey, Talbot ABC, Hamac Glider, Sweet Swirl 158-4. Anthony Hahn gets along with Sweet Swirl rather nicely.
Certainly does. Perfect 2 for 2 now on Sweet Swirl. And the more I looked at the race, I kind of thought it was more of a 2-3-3-2 for me. Well, when Val for Vanna ends up making that miscue off the gate, then obviously my chances were cooked in the pick 5 and everything I did in this race. But I could see Sweet Swirl was traveling sweetly throughout. Obviously being kept off the early pace being set by Belvedere Kathy. It was a runaway for Dag Henriksen. Really couldn't ration the speed of that one tonight. Ends up fading out of it, but Sweet Swirl certainly is able to capitalize, and that's a nice win. I mean, you can see in the stretch here, you got Talbot ABC ends up getting a really nice trip, all things considered, able to come up the inside, but wasn't able to make any gains on this winner. And Miss Kersey actually sticks around for second at a nice price. So again, no bueno for the best bet for me tonight, but Sweet Swirl certainly fine victory for that one.
Yeah, and Miss Kersey is 16-1, and you're probably right about Talbot ABC. Needs to have position A, races differently, because at no time did I think that Talbot ABC was going to be coming on and catching Sweet Swirl. Just didn't look that alive.
No, I mean, again, and kind of, there was that front end trip that kind of woke her up, right, 2 starts ago, and then obviously got picked off last time. But I think she'll likely fare better if she gets to the engine again next time out. But in the end, Sweet Swirl, I mean, if you just overlook that break last time and kind of look at that last start with Anthony Hahn, when being bet down at 35 cents the dollar, I guess 2-1's a bargain. I mean, I was kind of surprised that the price wasn't a bit higher, but I guess I shouldn't have been.
It's a 3-5-6-1 top 4. Coming back in front of us is number 3, Sweet Swirl, 2-year-old Muscle Mass Bay filly, owned by Paul Lindsay, trained by Don Lindsay. Anthony Hahn with the winning drive. Second win for Sweet Swirl, 158-4. Sixth race, payouts 3, Sweet Swirl, 610. $4, 250. 5, Ms. Gersey. 850, 386, Talbot ABC, 260. $2 exactor, $100.20. Dollar try, $139.70. Dollar super, $733.90. Sixth race, order of finish from the top, 4-5-1-6-2-3. That's 4-5-1-6-2-3 on the bottom.
4 races left on the card here in the late pick 5. We've got Sweet Swirl kicking it off. Good luck if you're still alive. If you're not like me, well, time to jump in on the late pick 4, starting right here in race number 7. Low takeout 15%. There's a ticket I mapped out. Not going to stray too far from my pick 5 wager. Always going to be the same numbers. 1, 3, and 9 here. So 3 deep. Mass Money looks like the one to beat. 2 to 1 on the board right now. 2, 3, and 5 in race number 8. I'm going to go back to Kadabra Kaboom. Was chasing this one 2 and 3 starts ago. Now gets nose back on gates, and I think maybe we'll see this one get handled a little more aggressively, even with that break and stride last time from the trailing post. Just the 2 in race 9. She trots a lot. Love her chances getting to the inside of the gate. Scott Young aboard and getting back here at the river. Most importantly, last time a good third in the grassroots at Mohawk Park. All button in race 10. No need to handicap. Just at the all button for me. I think it's a wide open looking event. There's a couple that maybe will take support, but I think that may be vulnerable favorites as well. So $16.20 for a 20-cent ticket for yours truly. Let's see what Conley's got for us. He's got about a minute or so.
I think you're just mad about how the 5th race went, so that's why you went to the all.
No, I mean that's mapped out long before. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I should have maybe thought of that in the early one. 3-9 here for Conley in race number 7. 1-3-5 in race number 8. 1-2-5 and 7 in the 9th. So where I've got She Trots a lot, he adds in 3 others. He's going to a single in the finale. So I got the all, but he's got a single. We couldn't see it any more differently. He went to Panthermonium, who I thought raced really well to be second last time to Vendetta Blue Chip. I just don't know how it translates from that main ranks now to the condition claimer. Now, the cap for earnings is only 18,500. So maybe she's a big time player in there. And I think she's got a good chance, but I'd rather kind of have them all and hope for something funky to happen in the finale. $4.80 for a 20-cent ticket for Conley if you want to go with his ticket. But got a minute or so to map out your winning wagers for this late pick 4. Again, takeout's always a low 15%. We'll come back in a moment or two, take a closer look at race number 7.
Field on parade for the 7th one is All-Star Goldie. Daryl Sheeson for Steve Watson and All-Star Farms. Number 2 is JG's pal, Sammy Filia for Brian Lawrence and Stuart Lawrence. And number 3 is Mass Money. It is Travis Henry for Mark Hetzel and Robert Newton and Peter Porter and Lindsay Turner. And number 4, Devil's Kiss. Jay Harris for Robert Kyle Fellows and Yolanda Fellows and Arpad Zabo and Blair Corbeil and Mike McAllister. 5 scratch, 6 is Vimy Ridge-Venti, Phil Houdon for Steve Lauren and Paul Mazzenti. Number 7, Quick Fix, Travis Cullen for Kevin Botts. 8 is P.L. Canella, Brett Madonna for Matt Dupuis. And 9 is Veracruz, Scott Young for Timothy Cherwaco and Gary Green. Field of 8, race number 7, Robert. I love this dash. I spent a lot of time thinking about it, and I went a different direction than you. You went to Mass Money, and that was one of the, of course, the main ones. I think the 1, 2, 3, and 9 are the ones that get your most attention when you're studying it. You went to Mass Money. Well, Mark Hetzel, 6 wins in 13 starts on the year. Certainly lots of logic there.
Yeah, well, what's impressive, too, is the fact that you've got 11 top 2 finishes, 12 on the board finishes. The only off-the-board finish came where? right in this class 3 starts ago, but got away 7th off the gate from post 7, rallied for 4th. Third quarter was 27-4. And this time around, now you have her regular pilot, Travis Henry, aboard, right? So they get along well together. Second last time in a grassroots event at Mohawk Park to Love Those Legs. I think we'd back Love Those Legs against this group. And I just look at this race. I couldn't go against Mass Money, even though there's other trotters in here that I'm very fond of. We've seen lots of and do very good things. But Mass Money was the one I had to go to on top. And 8-5 right now. Wouldn't be surprised if you see that price for a bit less come post time.
One of those other trotters that you're very fond of is 9 Veracruz, and well, you have to be because 7 wins in 12 starts this year. Scott Young and Veracruz, they've been quite the tandem.
They are. They've gotten along very well, and Tim Trueco too. Lots of success with this horse who came up from south of the border, and he typically looks for those kind of well-bred types, and he kind of certainly turns them around and has success with ones like Veracruz, and has won 3 in a row. Last time, perfect 2-hole trip, came out the passing lane late, and like you called it, just kind of cruised to the wire, even though the margin was half a length. Got past All-Star Goldie, and I mean the plan. And it's easier said than done, has to be to try to get in that one's helmet and follow that one right off the gate, because we know All-Star Goldie is kind of a lightning bolt off the switch, and she's got the pole position, so probably following that one out of there. If he can ever work out the same trip, then I think he can certainly make his way to the winner's circle again for a 4th straight start. 9-5 on the board, though, for the trailing post. To me, it's a little bit short. I mean, I like his chances, but never like taking a short number on one from that trailing spot.
I went to All-Star Goldie on top, and there's some good reason for it, but I don't like 2-1. I assumed that the likes of Mass Money, Veracruz, and JG's Pal would all eventually take more money than All-Star Goldie. But the difference here today will be post position 1 getting off the gate, and I'm just thinking that maybe All-Star Goldie can get just a little easier go, because this is one that's been coming close to being able to beat some good ones.
Yeah, she definitely has, and she's quick off the switch, so we know she's going to be blasting out of there. She might bring Veracruz with her. I just think Mass Money's got to get position off the gate, and I don't know if All-Star Goldie's going to want to tangle with one like Mass Money off the switch, so it really depends how that shakes out. If they ever line up like, 1-9 somehow, then look out. This race will be very difficult for one like Mass Money or JG's Pal. But again, she's kind of raced too well lately to not have won her last 3. She did get that victory off the bench, though, when she got the better of no one. And then in each of her last 3, just got picked up by solid rivals, right? Goobersmack, Stonyberg, Veracruz. Nothing wrong with that at all. I think she goes a long way again tonight. Not sure if she gets to the wire first, but she'll be a big part of it.
JG's Pal maybe hasn't been quite as good in the last couple, but boy, he's just too good to be 5-1. And he has license to come right back in here and put up a huge effort.
Yeah, and I thought that you obviously got the excuse 2 back, right? Missed almost a month between starts after a vet scratch due to sickness. Last time, though, I expected more from him. Ended up disappointing at 90 cents the dollar by finishing 3rd, but there's no reason to think he can't rebound off that effort or come back with a better try. He's proven he can kind of win from anywhere. Versatile type. And might be in the right spot from post 2. If he ever could latch onto a helmet, even first up, he's shown he can win first over as well. So 9-2 on the board right now. And I think one that you have to respect in here. I mean, I think the race goes through those 4, right? The 1, 2, 3, and 9.
Yeah, and the only other one that's taking a bit of money is 4 Devil's Kiss, but is facing tougher. Things kind of played out well for him last time out, but at least Louis Wa got the job done with Devil's Kiss, 2 wins in the past 3.
Yeah, and for me, I just thought the race kind of fell into his lap a little bit, but we'll have to see if he can now kind of prove that was no fluke tonight. The horse is really a bombs away price. Off a break, though, PL Quinella, 30-1. I mean, you convinced me moving in a spot now post 7. Maybe that he's worth a few dollars.
Well, he's been right there with Goober Smack and some other fine ones, but post position 7 also, not post 8. We'll look at this field heading into the backstretch. It's a field of 8, race number 7. And the field for the 7th race He is at the start of the rough, and All-Star Goldie tries to time the gate with Mass Money. Mass Money blasting out. Quick Fix. All-Star Goldie's on the inside third. Quick Fix at 45-1 is pressing Mass Money, and scooting through on the inside. All-Star Goldie is racing from the pocket. Devil's Kiss is racing fourth. JG's Pal. Then it is P.O. Canella, Vimy Ridge Venti, and Vera Cruz is last away. Quick Fix at 45-1 is going to come on and clear to the front, but Mass Money quickly is going to pop out as they race their way on towards us. Well, fooled me, because Quick Fix drove on. Quick Fix at 45-1. Mass Money, All-Star Goldie, and Devil's Kiss, and then JG's Pal and PL Canella, Vimy Ridge Venti, and Vera Cruz is trailing but is on the outside now, and now Mass Money has reclaimed the lead. Mass Money, Quick Fix, All-Star Goldie is quickly going to move up on the outside, and All-Star Goldie is coming on and is now driving up first over against Mass Money. Mass Money 5-2 on the board. All-Star Goldie at 3-1 is closing some ground. Then Quick Fix and JG's Pal and Devil's Kiss. Off-stride Vimy Ridge Venti. Vera Cruz is racing 6th, and 7th is PL Canella. It is Mass Money. All-Star Goldie is getting a little bit closer, but Mass Money still looks very game. Mass Money by a half a length. All-Star Goldie. JG's Pal is looming, and at 3 wide. JG's Pal is coming, and now Vera Cruz is kicking into gear as the field turns for home. And it's now the four-way race that we thought at the beginning. Mass Money on the inside. JG's Pal, All-Star Goldie, and Vera Cruz. And now charging is JG's Pal. JG's Pal is going to get by Mass Money and win. Vera Cruz is third. And then All-Star Goldie, 156-3. JG's Pal was just too good to be 5-1. Did drop down to 3-1. And we said had license to come right back in and race big time.
Yeah, certainly does. Last time Louis Philippe aboard, similar colors for Sam Filion, right? And he does a great job with JG's Pal, just kind of getting this one, in a position to prove he's the best in here, and that's what he did, JG's Pal. Because last time out, I mean, we kind of expected a real big effort getting back in that regular rotation. Didn't come. This time around, much different animal. I mean, he rolls wide around All-Star Goldie here. Mass Money gets every chance. She gets every chance to close this out and get to the wire first. Travis Henry, making all the right moves, even after having to kind of deal with a pesky rival and Quick Fix in the early stages. But JG's Pal will not be denied, and that's the way we saw him racing when he was on that win streak before that vet scratch due to sickness. So he might be, back to where he was before, back in good order for Brian Lawrence, and nice victory for him there.
And look, I mean, those four trotters, they're very nice, and it's really how the race unfolds. But JG's Pal is just right there with the bunch of them. But Sammy Filion gave this one a very patient steer. And look, it was Mass Money and All-Star Goldie who were up close after a Quick Fix had packed it in, and that just set up really well.
Yeah, it did. I mean, All-Star Goldie having to go first over, totally different trip than what she's really accustomed to, what she wants to do. I knew that kind of ended her night when she had to get that kind of a trip, just the way the race kind of panned out. Vera Cruz kind of got spun out of it at the start. Trailing posts will typically do that to horses, and I thought it was a really good closing third. But at the end of the day, Gary, it ends up being the four that we thought. Just not, I mean, for me in the right order, but kind of a really tightly contested race between those four.
JG's Pal back in front of us. The winner, JG's Pal, is a 3-year-old tactical landing brown gelding owned by Brian Stewart Lawrence. Brian Lawrence, the trainer. Sammy Filion, the winning driver. 5th win for JG's Pal on the year, and 6th lifetime. 156-3. Seventh race payouts to JG's Pal, 810 for $33. Three mass money, 380 and 290. Nine Veracruz, 310. $2 exactory, 22.20. Dollar try, 39.25. Dollar super, 90.60. Seventh race order finish from the top. 4-1-2-7 scratch 8563. That's 4-1-2-7 scratch 8563. Field of 7 for the 8th race on parade. And one is Gaelic Piper, Jason Ryan for John Yakin, Jordan McGrail, and Deborah McGrail, and Bethany Craig. Number 2 is Sweet Emily T. Mark Hetzel drives and trains and owns, along with Lindsay Turner and Don Burnett. Number 3 is Hamac Swanky, Colin Kelly for Vic Putty and Hamac Farms, and Brian Foley. 4 is Wheelin' and Steelin', George Ketros drives and trains for Mary Ketros. 5, Cadabra Kaboom, Travis Cullen for Jody Cullen and Tammy Aspin and Marie Nielsen. Number 6, Fly Higher, Dag Henderson for Mike Rive and Gary Sullivan. And 7, Ram, Brett McDonald for Ron McDonald and Lorimer McClure and Martin Kepfer. Field of 7, race number 8. Well, let's get a look at this field. And, well, Rob, we both landed on Cadabra Kaboom, but there's a few different horses that might wind up the favorite here. You would have to assume the 1, 3, 4, and 5 are getting the lion's share of the attention. Thing with Cadabra Kaboom that could scare some people away, a break last time out, but that was the trailer post.
Yeah, trailer post last time out. I mean, Royal Beluga won by as much as he pleased, too, on that occasion. Obviously, you want to be worried about a break over a fast track coming into this because the flat line's like the top priority tonight. But the form references before that are pretty good ones, right? Second to Time Out Twister, we saw that one race well tonight. And before that second the Chip happened, I thought was really inching in nicely on Chip Happen. 3 starts ago, that's why I went all over this one. 2 back, and then just kind of left a little bit too much work to do in the early stages, and then Time Out Twister ends up being the winner. So I think you'd have to get 5-2 the current price right now on him just because of that break last time. But I thought he was one that was warming up to a victory. Didn't like him all that much on September 11th because of that trailing post nose back on gate. I think he's going to show some serious interest tonight and can get to the wire first.
And number 3, Hamac Swanky, Colin Kelly for Vic Putty. Thing with this one is, boy, you can definitely play him on the top 3, but he's 0 for 15.
Yeah, 0 for 15 in his career, which is obviously always a bit of a concern, right? A little camera shy, but hits the board with frequency. And last time was a good effort to be second, right? Kind of emerged out of the pack to be second to Royal Beluga, who again won by a wide margin. And this one, raced pretty well, I thought, to be second after making back-to-back breaks in stride and having to qualify. So maybe this one kind of keep moving in the right direction. We saw 4 horses right now, 5-2, Gary. That's pretty remarkable. Just showing that the betting public kind of scratching their head between those ones. Everyone else 10-1 or higher.
And those are the 4 that we both have, just in slightly different order. We both went to Cadabra Kaboom on top, but that should make it an interesting super to try to nail straight and look. So Hamac Swanky, your second choice. I went a different direction. Number 2, Sweet Emily T, Mark Hetzel, and this is one that had just 1 start, but finished up reasonably well.
Yeah, I thought it was one that would kind of be worth for watching for next time. Now, I don't like the fact that she's, a 2-year-old filly against older horses, but I did like the effort. 4th to Royal Moon, kind of got an easier trip. And I thought the qualifier was decent too, home with 28-2 before that. So just looking for value somewhere, right? I figured there'd be probably 5 horses that would take some support in here. Right now, out of those horses, she's the one that's getting overlooked at 10-1.
The one that I did go to for second, but I certainly couldn't go on top, and yet one of these days is going to break through. Gaelic Piper, last time out, finishing second, and got a pocket trip, likely to be able to get a trip from the inside again. Jason Ryan's been on a good heater of late, but this is 0 for 26 now in the win column for Gaelic Piper.
Yeah, hits the board lots of frequency this year, but you're right, that's looming over his head right now, that 0 for 26. Kind of always in the mix, just hasn't been able to get his nose to the wire first. I couldn't get there tonight for that reason. I do think this field too is, got some depth to it, so I like him somewhere on the ticket, but I couldn't get there on top. And right now he's one of the 4 horses at 5-2. We see these ones just staying at those prices.
And then what's interesting to me, Ram, only because, you've told me about taking back value. Ram was 4-1, first start at Flamborough Downs. Is sent up by Ron McDonald. Made a break last time out, and so the night ended quickly, but qualified here. Ram 21-1.
Yeah, big price on that one for sure. The other one's interesting, right? Is the first time starter, right, for George Kitros. This is a horse that does have a sibling that's made over $300,000. PL Hercules. I like the qualifier. I just wasn't sure, how it kind of maps out first time out for this one. But taking money from the beginning of the betting right till now, 3-1 on the board.
Yeah, George Ketros and Wheelin' and Steelin' is 3-1. It's a field of 7, race number 8. Field for the 8th race. Is at the start. And the rough, wheelin' and stealin', fly higher. Gaelic Piper on the inside. Sweet Emily T. Cadabra Kaboom is still working on the outside and is racing 4th right now. Sweet Emily T. 5th. Hamak Swanky and Ram is back trailing. Wheelin' and stealin', and George Ketros has the front. Gaelic Piper didn't want the pocket, is going to come out. Gaelic Piper and Jason Ryan wants to come on and grab the front. Gaelic Piper and Wheelin' and Steelin' is racing second. And then Cadabra Kaboom on the outside is moving as they race on up towards us. And Cadabra Kaboom and Travis Cullen unhurried but continuing on the outside and wants to try to come on and clear over Gaelic Piper. And Cadabra Kaboom is going to come on and clear to the front for Travis Cullen. Cadabra Kaboom leads on up to the half of a 29-2 opening quarter. Gaelic Piper and then Wheelin' and Steelin' fly higher. Sweet Emily T. Hamak Swanky. Ram is trailing 59-3 halftime. Cadabra Kaboom is 9-5 on the board and right now has a lead of about 2.5 lengths. And Travis looks rather relaxed in the back right now. In behind, Cadabra Kaboom. Gaelic Piper is racing second, trying to close the gap. Wheelin' and Steelin' third. Halmack Swanky fourth, and Sweet Emily T on the outside fifth, fly higher. And then Ram, but Cadabra Kaboom continues on. 3/4, 129-1. Cadabra Kaboom. Gaelic Piper, Wheelin' and Steelin', and Halmack Swanky as the field reaches for the top of the stretch, and then Sweet Emily T trailing pair flying higher in Ram, and they turn for home. And Cadabra Kaboom is cruising on down the stretch drive. Cadabra Kaboom, Gaelic Piper, Cadabra Kaboom, and Travis Cullen just sitting on the sofa at the finish. And Gaelic Piper, Wheelin' and Steelin', and Halmack Swanky 159-2. Cadabra Kaboom. And well, Rob, early in that mile, when you watch Travis Cullen leaving out, even though he's on the outside, he just continues on, and he's not really hurrying. He's just like, yeah, I'm going to get to the front. I'll get there when I get there. But I guess he knew he had so much horse that it didn't matter.
Yeah, kind of one of those delayed leaving moves, right? I mean, he didn't want to be anywhere but the lead, but he wasn't going to get into too big of a hurry to get there. The break last time, trailing post, like we said, obviously there's a little more intricate than just a break and stride for no reason. Had been staying flat in his previous 3, and obviously getting Travis Cullen back in the bike. I mean, the driver that knows him best helped his chances tonight. Those form references, right, Gary? I mean, Time Out Twister Chip happened. They've both gone on to do good things, and it just made sense that he'd be the horse in here. I thought 6-1 was pretty generous in the morning line, off at 9-5, and a much the best winner. I mean, really much the best winner, and kind of wishing I just maybe hung my hat on him in the pick 5 and the pick 4. Then maybe we'd have some better results here. But I liked him on top tonight. Was hoping for a better number than 9-5 though.
I just love watching the body language because it tells you a lot about what the driver thinks in terms of how much horse he has, and just all the way around. To look at Travis Cullen, thought, yeah, I have the best horse by quite a bit in here.
Yeah, and I really liked those 2 second place finishes. I mean, he was knocking at the door. I thought you could argue that he raced better than the winner in both of those efforts. It just didn't work out. So this time around, it does work out for him. He gets to the lead, and you can see very straight and strong right to the wire. Gaelic Piper doing Gaelic Piper things, right? Finishing second. Another second place for that one. First time starter wheeling and stealing though. One to watch. Nice leaving move, and I thought was moving nicely up the passing lane late there at 9-2. So we'll keep an eye on that one for next time.
It's a 5-1-4-3, and back in front of us is 5 Cadabra Kaboom, a 4-year-old Cadabra Bay horse owned by Tammy Aspen and Marie Nielsen. Jody Cullen, the trainer. Travis Cullen, the winning driver. Cadabra Kaboom, 159-2. Eighth race payouts 5 Cadabra Kaboom, 573.20, 241 Gaelic Piper, 360, 240, and 4 Wheelin' and Stealin' 370, $2 exactor 15.50, dollar try 33.25, dollar super 73.05. Eighth race order finish from the top, 2543167. That's 2543167 on the bottom. Field for the ninth on parade one, Abby Cadabra, Daryl Thiessen for Steve Bossens and Derek Reed. Number two, She Trots a Lot, Scott Young for Paul Walker and Keith Coulter. 3 is scratched. 4 is Fantastic MVP Travis Henry for Jack Moiseyev and High Stakes Incorporated, Nancy McNevin and the Mo and Joe Stable and Sunset Racing. 5 is Star Hairdresser, Austin Sorry for Rick Ziron and John Donato. 6 is Sant Ambrosio, Brett McDonough for Dan O'Brien. And 7 PC Double Down, Colin Kelly for Curtis Clements and Amy Clements. It's a field of 6, race number 9. Let's look at this field, and She Trots a Lot, 7-2 on the board. One that we've loved here in the past, Scott Young driving. And what did you think of that last race in the grassroots at Mohawk?
I thought it was fantastic, Gary. At the end of the day, the thing is, Post 8 gets away third, but the level of competition there, I mean, Valentine Blue Chip is a serious racehorse who has had tremendous success at the grassroots level and even did okay stepping up to the gold rank. So exciting. Mia was second in there. Obviously a much tougher group than what she faces tonight. She raced well to be third when having to work from post 7 and not be able to get away with the early lead 2 starts ago in this class. And before that, she went all the way on the engine before, holding off a pretty determined Arch Angels Gliding. So we look at the races that she's had the lead in here, Gary, and you see she's got that victory, Nowners at 2, July 31st, again, August 28th, both those times Scott Young aboard. And I see the same horse right now getting fired up before the race. The price cannot stay at that. There's no way. I mean, this horse has to get hammered late. She deserves to be the favorite on here, and I think she will be at post time.
You know, one that's offering value if it was to hold is Abby Cadabra, because this is one that's getting better and better and almost got the job done. Got caught by Sant Ambrosio, who's come on nicely as well. Abby Cadabra gets the inside and might be blasting out again.
Yeah, she's been finding her feet here at Grand River, hitting the board in each of her last 2 here, and before that, second in Sarnia. I thought she'd take more support as well. Races for a strong trotting barns. Steve Bossens just 1 for 19 in her career, but she's hit the board with all kinds of frequency 8 times over that span, and I think we're going to see her push forward again off the gate tonight. I mean, really the lineup. I mean, if you look at this race top to bottom, you'd have to think the lineup. I mean, San Ambrosio is going to want to have some say in the early going. But I have to think She Trots a Lot's going to want to try to go down the road. That's how she's been so effective in the past. And Abby Cadabra's going to want to get forwardly placed as well. So, I think the inside 2 are both big-time overlays right now.
If you've been betting Sant Ambrosio in the last 3 races, you did get a win, but you also got 2 painful seconds. One at 48 to 1 and one at 55 to 1. Yeah,
they would have been, right? I mean, both times too, you go a long way on the lead before getting picked up late, and I mean that second to actually both of them were kind of were gut wrenching, because the first one, It Don't Matter to Me, makes that miscue at the top of the turn, looks like she's going to be out of it. She resets immediately and then guns this one down, and then last time Kraft made no right to win from where he was. He was the best in there, I thought, by a mile, but he still kind of got a trip that was one that where a flat line was likely the top priority, and he still gets there by a neck. So really turned it on since getting Brett McDonald on the bike. No worse than second last 3, and I think you've got to give her respect again tonight.
And that last race that Sant Ambrosio was in, Star Hairdresser was in there as well, and made a big move first over and was working on the outside for a piece, and was also right there with Sant Ambrosio, and Kraft made Star Hairdresser was just beaten half a length.
I mean, getting hammered off the board, right? I mean, right from the get-go. This horse has been odds on from the minute the betting opened for the race, and obviously raced well last time, first over a long way before finishing third, but still got beat by Sant Ambrosio, who did all the work on the engine. and got picked up by Kraft Maid, who came from way out of it. Second before that, but I mean, I just think that, I mean, did everyone forget about how good She Trots a Lot's been here? Like, I don't get the odds right now. I think they're out of whack, and maybe we see a correction come post time.
I'm curious what Fantastic MVP does because last race, Fantastic MVP gave a much stronger showing, and that was a nice bounce back performance. And we've seen this one race reasonably well. You see, was in with the likes of Goober Smack August the 28th and was credible third there. Fantastic MVP at 15 to 1. It's not completely out of touch that this one could be a solid player in here.
No, I don't think so. Fantastic MVP is a horse again, a little bit camera shy, but hits the board with frequency. Does have that tactical speed. Now we'll start from post three, so can kind of just push off the gate and land in a decent spot. I think one that you can use in the exotics. I'd have no issue with that at all. I mean, I'll be playing exotics with She Trot Slot on top and trying to get a couple prices in there. Maybe Fantastic MVP is the one I should be zeroing on underneath.
Well, we do have She Trots a Lot has dropped now down to 5 to 2 on the board. Star Hairdresser is now the 7 to 5 favorite. It's a good field, Robert, a field of 6 trotters. We'll see what unfolds here, but Abby Cadabra, She Trots a Lot on the inside. In the center, Fantastic MVP, Star Hairdresser to the outside, Sant'Ambrogio and PC Double Down. Field of 6. Ninth dash. Ninth race trotters are turning into the backstretch, gathering speed, approaching the start. Field for the ninth race is now all in position on the gate. And there at the start of the rough, and Sant'Ambrogio is going to blast out. Fantastic MVP. Abby Cadabra broke stride. Star Hairdresser is clipping along 3 wide still. Now 2 wide and is headed towards the front. And Star Hairdresser wants to come right on now and buzz on up and take the lead. And then racing second, Sant'Ambrogio. Fantastic MVP. She Trots a Lot is currently racing fourth, and then PC Double Down as they race their way off the turn and head on towards us up at 28 and 2 opening quarter. Star Hairdresser and Austin Sorry now has the lead. Sant'Ambrogio is racing position second. Fantastic MVP. She Trots a Lot and Scott Young's racing fourth, and PC Double Down is fifth as they race their way on up towards the half. 28 and 2 opening quarter, and Austin Sorry and Star Hairdresser like to pick up a second panel breather and has no challengers. And right now, Sant'Ambrogio is right there in the pocket. 32nd, second panel with a 58 and 2 half, and third, Fantastic MVP. She Trots a Lot has moved out right now and is underway in closing ground. But Star Hairdresser at even money on the board. Star Hairdresser, Sant'Ambrogio. She Trots a Lot is racing a position to third. She Trots a Lot at 2 to 1 has come on now and is only about 2 1/4 off the lead. Fantastic MVP fourth. PC Double Down is fifth, but it is still Star Hairdresser 127 and 1 the 3/4 time. Star Hairdresser, She Trots a Lot, and Scott Young not doing any work yet on She Trots a Lot, and She Trots a Lot is moved up to take over second, and then it is Sant'Ambrogio. But if they turn for home, it is Star Hairdresser up the inside. Sant'Ambrogio. Star Hairdresser continues on. Star Hairdresser, Sant'Ambrogio. Those are the top two. She Trots a Lot. Fantastic MVP. Mile of 157 and 1. Star Hairdresser. Rob, the tote board was talking to us.
Yeah, it sure was. I mean, I still don't. I still don't get it, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I watched the replay a bunch of times. Horse was good first over a long way, last time out, but this was just, hammered down from the beginning of the betting right till the word go. I thought we'd see maybe a change in odds at some point. We didn't. Went to the lead and gets a 32nd second quarter, and the race is over at that point. I mean, it was just, again, She Trots a Lot wasn't really trotting as smooth as she had been in those victories. I mean, you can see first over here gets a little bit fumbly, and I think that's why Scott's got to just kind of get her through the turn. But even in the stretch, she didn't have enough to offer I mean, Star Hairdresser was just much the best tonight, and one that's been trending in the right direction. Right, 1 for 24 going into it, and now second victory in the 25th start of his career. So a horse that might be able to move on from this, but again, I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, and you know, Sant'Ambrosio, who has only 2 wins in 37 starts, is a horse we're going to continue to hear more from.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this is one that I've always liked, and I mean, Dan O'Brien's handed the lines over to Brett McDonald, and it's certainly proved positive for her. She's now been second in 4 consecutive efforts, and she certainly was pretty strong in the Prospect Series at 2. She won the final at Western Fair, and then had a decent 3-year-old campaign as well. So now she's moving in the right direction at 4. We'll likely hear a lot more from her.
Yeah, well, she has our favorite thing. She can get off the gate.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a tactical speed, right? I mean, it doesn't matter what post she has, she can get off the switch with the best of them. So that's always going to help your chances at any racetrack. I don't care what the size of the track is.
It's a 5-6-2-4. Top 4, and back in front of us is number 5, Star Hairdresser. 3-year-old Cantab Hallbay gelding. Owned by John Donato, trained by Rick Ciron. Austin Sorey is the winning driver. Second win for Star Hairdresser, 157-1. Ninth race payouts, 5-Star Hairdresser, 4-20, 370, 220. 6 Sant'Ambrosio, 520, 250. 2 She Trots a Lot, 230. $2 Exactor, 1260. Dollar Try, 1560. Dollar Superfecta, 31.55. Ninth race. Order of finish from the top down. 6-3 scratch. 4125. That's 6-3 scratch. 4125 on the bottom. Field for the 10th on Parade 1, Soda Queen, Paul McKenzie for Gary McDonald. Number 2 is Staying Fresh, Jason Ryan for Richard Griffiths. And 3 is Panthermonium, Travis Henry for Matthew Panos and Mataross Stable. 4 is No Clothes, No Problem, Sammy Filia for Brett Lester and Ron Nobes and Charles Gazzola and Dale Betts. 5 is Worth Repeating, Austin Sorry for Duncan Gillis. Number 6 Intense Lady, Phil Houdon for Rennie Dion. 7 is Bet I'm Shady, Colin Kelly for Vic Putty and Hut Racing. 8 is Heston's Free Chips, Brett McDonough for Jason Libby and Ronnie McLean. 9 is Smiles Like a Teen Spirit, Daryl Thiessen for Patrick Bissett and Tanya Lawson. Field of 9, race number 10. Let's look at this field. And, well, Rob, none of the cappers have 4, No Clothes, No Problem on their top 4, but you have No Clothes, No Problem as your betting favorite, your top pick. And so can you flesh this one out?
Yeah, definitely not one that I thought would be a favorite, Gary. So I was, again, in a race where I'm taking the all button, I need to look for prices, and No Clothes, No Problem, judging by the multi-leg, should not be as short as she is right now. We'll see the score down here. This could be a little bit telling for us because obviously she's been, misbehaving a lot since getting the barn of Brett Lester, but I would think they had some pretty high hopes for her. I mean, she was doing good things earlier in her career. And I saw those races in Hiawatha and around those parts, and I thought she'd go on for this barn. And there's the score down there. Looks pretty good right now. I'm pretty happy with that. Hoping the price does float up though, because again, I'm putting this one on top, looking for some value, not 9 to 5, that's for sure. But last race, if we followed the money, we'd be a winner. So maybe this time around, the same thing will hold true. But again, No Clothes, No Problem. One that I think might really take a big step forward off that recent qualifier for a barn that, again, I think had higher hopes for her when she was acquired.
Well, one thing, if you take a look at that August 25th line at Georgian, broken equipment, so it was way back early, and after that 30-2 opening quarter, this one was flying. So she was a quick filly. There's some things to like in there. 2-1 on the board. 3 Panthermonium is my second choice. Your second. And, well, one thing to like about this one is the closing ability in the last couple races.
You know what I think of Vendetta Blue Chip, right? Big fan of that one. And she was a good second to that one last time out. That's in those maiden ranks though, right? So the earnings cap on this class is obviously quite a bit higher. Now, I usually will like horses leaving open non-winners company type races to claiming ranks, but this one, I mean, this is might be a transition where she's facing significantly tougher. But I do think she's been racing well as of late. She's hit the board in 5 of 11. I think she could do it again. She's a better price than I expected. I thought she'd be second or third choice in the betting. Right now, she's fourth in the betting, but she's 7-1, which I think is pretty solid price on Panthermonium.
Next, we'll go to the 9 horse, and you know what? You can tell me what this one's called, because I don't know.
Well, it smells like Teen Spirit, right? It smells like Teen Spirit. I mean, for me, it would be the Nirvana song, the big one, the big hit for them.
See, I've never actually heard a song by Nirvana. That tells you what I think of them.
Well, I think you're wrong, but it's okay.
No, but I meant I've never actually heard a song by them. So, look, some stuff you just don't bother with, and that's why you know that's why you knew it. Okay, good. Well, see, that's why you're here, buddy, because you're bringing the knowledge. And what about the knowledge of why you used this one in the top 3?
Well, Trilling Post, and this is one where I can like because of that transition from the open non-winners ranks to now the condition claimers. Last time non-winners at 15,000 life at Clinton. Before that, non-winners at 2 or 7,500 was a winner on that occasion. She's 4 for 19. I think she's got a decent enough resume to say maybe with the right kind of trip she can be competitive against this bunch. I thought she'd be about 12-1. She's 25-1. She could really help out the high 5.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that I don't like them. I'm saying I've never heard them. That's even different.
Fair enough.
8, Heston's Free Chips. I don't like the post position, but and I don't like that break last time out. But I like some of the other things I see on the board on the
Yeah,
paper.
first start, Jason. By the way, I'm not going to die on a hill for Nirvana here, okay? Nirvana, I'm not going to die on a hill for that. So let's get that straight. I wasn't having any issue with it, Gary. But Jason Libby, first time, coming from the East Coast, always tough to kind of gauge how they'll make that transition. Post date obviously makes it a little more tricky, but any reason looking for a horse here that might take a step forward. Maybe it's going to be Heston free chips and 40-1 on the board. Wow, that's a pretty big price.
I could say if you have any issues with me, I know where you live, but then I wouldn't probably get past the alligators in the moat. But how about number 2, Staying Fresh?
Just looking to get one from an inside draw. Nose back on gate, hot hands. Jason Ryan aboard, and maybe get this one to land somewhere in the high five to add some value. Intense Lady 6-5 on the board. Off a bit of time, decent qualifier, but I just thought maybe this was a race where we have a vulnerable favorite. Maybe go searching for bigger numbers on the board.
Well, it is a field of 9, race number 10, the final dash on this Wednesday evening. They're into the backstretch, nearing the start. And the field for the 10th race is at the start of the rough, and it is worth repeating. Staying Fresh, off stride, Heston free chips, and Panthermonium, Intense Lady, No Close, No Problem, is currently racing 5th, and then Bet I'm Shady, Soda Queen, and back to Smells Like Teen Spirit. And as they race their way to the opening quarter, Panthermonium now is moving up. Worth repeating is racing position to 2nd as they race their way off the turn. Staying Fresh is 3rd. Intense Lady is racing 4th on the inside, and the field comes on towards us, and now it is Worth Repeating. Worth Repeating has the lead. Panthermonium is 2nd. Staying Fresh is 3rd. Intense Lady now is moving first over. No Close, No Problem is covered up and is on the back of Intense Lady as they race their way up towards the half. But Worth Repeating has the lead, and then Intense Lady, Panthermonium, and then it is Staying Fresh to the inside, and No Close, No Problem is still traveling on the outside, about 3 off the lead. But Intense Lady bearing down and Worth Repeating, and then it is Panthermonium, and racing 4th is No Close, No Problem. Staying Fresh 6th is Smells Like Teen Spirit, then Soda Queen, and then Bet I'm Shady, and Heston free chips off a half of 58 and 2. They're dueling on top. Intense Lady and Worth Repeating are fighting it out. Intense Lady, Worth Repeating on the inside is 2nd. Panthermonium is 3rd. Staying Fresh, and then No Close, No Problem is hoping to come streaking late as the field turns from Intense Lady. Panthermonium on the outside. On the inside, Worth Repeating, Staying Fresh, No Close, No Problem, and Soda Queen on down the stretch. Where they come. Intense Lady charging to the finish. Intense Lady is going to win. And Panthermonium was 2nd, 3rd. Looked like Soda Queen, then Worth Repeating and Staying Fresh. 157 and 2. Intense Lady, Fill the Thrill, scores in the final dash, Robert.
Yeah, it certainly does. You know what? Kind of an interesting race, the way it all played out. An Intense Lady kind of stuck on the outside off the gate, and then settled in the pylons briefly before going to the outside, and just proved to be too much for them. And I thought that might happen. I thought she might kind of have to overcome a difficult trip. She hasn't raced in a while, but she was good to go. I mean, she proved to be definitely the best in there, and converts as the heavy favorite. Panthermonium, another closing effort for that one. Kind of inching in on that winner in the dying strides. Couldn't get there, though. Has to settle for 2nd. And, tough trip for No Close, No Problem. I mean, a horse that obviously, isn't the easiest to handle, but couldn't settle into a hole. Ends up being, parked the route. Couldn't stay with the 6th Intense Lady, and ends up just kind of finishing mid-pack at the end. But I'll keep an eye on that one going forward. I mean, probably needed that effort. But one, I think that there is certainly some ability there.
Well, your top pick did not give you any Nirvana this evening, but Intense Lady, my top choice, but I'm not proud at 6-5.
Yeah, again, for me, I just thought this was a race maybe to go searching. The way it all played out, I still don't really think it's the wrong decision, because she had to overcome a pretty difficult trip. She does, but there were several opportunities there at decent prices. But hey, Fill the Thrill, An Intense Lady emerged victorious in the nightcap at 6-5, and you can see kind of formful in the top end of it. Staying Fresh does hit that bottom end of the high 5 at 35-1, though.
I don't think I'd have been betting Intense Lady also 6-5 because last race was July the 31st.
Exactly, and that's why I thought it was worth taking a stand against. And thinking that she might come out and give a good effort and still get beat, but she had to go a pretty tough trip, and she gets the better of them. So she'll probably even take a step forward off this, and one we should watch for next time as well.
Okay, well, 63152. I'll give a listen to some Nirvana on the way home and see if I'm right or wrong.
You should. You'll like it. You'll like it for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Back in front of us is number 6, Intense Lady. 3-year-old Better as Delight Bay filly, owned by Guest John Goyette Incorporated. Rene Dion's the trainer. Phil Hoot the winning driver. 5th win for Intense Lady. Phil the Thrill, victorious in 157-2 in race number 10.
Have a good night. Great job.
Tenth race, payout 6, Intense Lady. 450, 350, 230, 3 Panthermonium. 520, 360, 1 Soda Queen, 280. 20-cent high 5, 267.04. $2 exactor, $21.50. Dollar try, $45.80. Double of 5 and 6, $10.80. Dollar pick 3, $21.65. Dollar pick 4, $122.65. Dollar pick 5, $758.40. Dollar high 5. Well, the 20-cent high 5, $267.04. Tenth race, order of finish from the top down. 3, 5, 2, 6, 4, 1, 9, 8, 7. That's from the top down. 3, 5, 2, 6, 4, 1, 9, 8, 7 on the bottom. Well, fans, that concludes the live harness racing program for this Wednesday evening. Our next live racing event is this coming Friday with the first dash of 6:30 p.m. I'll be back Friday with a review of Nirvana songs, and we'll have another great night of racing action here at Grand River Raceway. Buenas noches, amigos. Good night, everybody. Good night, Sean.